Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Agora, Singapore. Yeah. Tonight, we have 12 speakers lined up to share with us their knowledge, their experience, their wisdom, their information that's useful to you. And the time allowed for each speaker is 5 to 7 minutes. And before they present their speech, they have 1 minute to introduce themselves and introduce the topic. And the timer is none other than Mike Nicholson. Yay! The first speaker for this evening is Zhong Cheng Yan. Let's put our hands together to welcome Zhong Cheng Yan.
Hi, thank you for everybody. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you, Bumping, for inviting me. Basically, I'm an artist by accident now. So I'm an accidental artist. So before I took up art, I was a food technologist working in the rat race, trying to meet my customer needs. So I took up watercolor painting to heal myself, to have joy and to recreate myself. And then to my surprise, I find that I not only bring joy and happiness to myself, but also bring joy and happiness to my viewers. So basically, this is something that I want to talk about tonight, watercolor painting. So that is my topic. And I'll pass you back to Bumping. Hello, Bumping.
No, you can carry straight on and do your 5 to 7 minutes.
Okay. I can carry it straight on. Okay.
Yeah,
so
go straight on.
Okay, so basically, I was working like everybody, and I had a meltdown. So they say things happen for a reason, and I believe that as I was working, my guardian angel actually was looking after me, and then things happened, and I was actually spiraling down, and I was had a meltdown, and I could no longer work anymore, and I exited the rat race to do some soul searching. And after 1 year of soul searching, I decided to take up watercolor painting to heal myself and recreate myself. It so happened that, as you say, by luck or by coincidence, I happened to see a newspaper advertisement in NAFA calling for students to take part or sign up for the part-time course, certificate course in watercolor painting. So I quickly rushed down. And when I rushed down and registered, the girl, the friendly female staff, told me that I already got the last slot. And then she even joked that the slot has been reserved for me. So actually, she couldn't have been more right. I will talk about this later on. I will share my story and later on reflect on this. So I signed up for a watercolor painting course, basic watercolor painting course. And as I sign up, I paint. I'm beginning to realize that I want to share a journey with my friends. So I set up a Facebook page, and I post my pictures. So as I post my pictures, I receive a lot of likes, compliments, and comments. And it's quite heartening to see that the people actually encourage me, and I feel very, very happy. So this is part of the joy. So after my course, basic course ended, I took up the intermediate course and also ceramic painting. And to my surprise, people actually like my paintings and they express interest to want to buy. So of course, I don't actually actively market it, but I feel that I can actually sell it and share my joy with them, and basically to let them own my painting. So I say yes, and I communicated to them my terms and my price, and then we'll ask them to TT the money to my bank account, and I will send it to them. So as I paint, I find that more and more people actually want to buy my painting. And so that itself is already a satisfaction for me. And the first painting I sold was to a friend, to a schoolmate. It's actually an A5 size painting. And the second one was to a neighbor, and he liked it very much. So I went and delivered to him, and he even asked me to explain my painting to him. So I feel very, very heartened that people took an interest in my art journey. So when the intermediate course ended and COVID strike, so while people was having cabin fever, I was happily painting, and I was painting. The only problem is that I couldn't post it on Facebook because I don't have access to computer. I normally go to the public terminal to upload my pictures. So I was painting, but I could not upload. So after the COVID, the circuit breaker ended, I quickly went and buy an iPad. And that actually was a game changer for me because I could now communicate freely with my viewers, with my customers, and I could even receive photos from people. So that actually opened a totally new whole world. And people suggested that I paint certain subjects, and some friends even offered to send me photos for me to paint. So I have a friend, a very ex-classmate. She's a very good photographer, and she's based in Taipei. So she offered to send me pictures of Taipei scenes of the Lake Gardens, which I painted. So from there, I keep on painting, and more people actually like my painting, and they will write to me and say that they want to buy my painting. And there was one painting that I sold to a friend. She is actually based in US, but we used to work together. She was the US counterpart while I was based in Singapore, and she liked a scene which I painted, the scene in Myanmar, in Rangoon, of people walking along the wooden bridge, 1,000-year wooden bridge in sunset. So I sent it to her, and then I told her to only pay me when she received the painting. And when she wanted to receive the painting, bad news happened. Her husband was hospitalized, so she had to visit her husband 26 times a month. And then she kept assuring me that she will pay me. So as the days progress and the months progress, her husband's condition actually worsened, and she kept going to hospital. So in my heart, I was thinking, well, if that's the case, I will write off this painting. And after 3 months, the good news was that she wrote to me and said, hey, Cheng Yen, I'm finally able to pay you, you know. So she TT me the money and asked me for the SWIFT code and the address, which I gave her. And I was very thankful that the money came in. And when I looked at it, I was shocked to see that actually I asked for Sing dollars, but she paid me in US dollars. And the funny thing was, when I finally looked at my receipt, she actually put Singapore as part of China. And then I look at my bank account, the money is in, you know. So I wrote to her and say, hey, Judith, I say Singapore is Singapore, Republic of Singapore. It's not part of China. Oh, she said, oh yes, thank you for your geography. So that itself is a very, how should I say, a very good example of how communications, how we can understand each other, how, you know, people who in a different part of the world, I mean, do not understand the situation that Singapore is an independent country. It's not part of China. It's Singapore itself. So that itself, I think, begin to give me a very how should I say, a very good situation where I actually heal myself. I'm not more that impatient anymore. I'm more compassionate. I began to understand her situation, that she really, I mean, took care of her husband, and that I'm also, if she didn't want to pay me, I'm also prepared to let go. After all, it's just a painting. It doesn't mean anything to me. To me, the process of painting is more important than the product. And I don't actively market my painting. People want to buy, I will let them buy. If they don't want to buy, I'll just keep it. So that starts the amazing journey. And from there, I paint. Normally, I will paint from photos. And there was one photo of a tram, which I took, cut out from the Straits Times. It shows a tram traveling in Lisbon. So I painted that and I posted it on Facebook. Another friend saw it and she knew that my classmate travels to Lisbon, and because he goes to Lisbon to watch football, but I didn't know. So she wrote on my Facebook, "Oh, so Cheng En, so you and A are in Lisbon?" I said, no. A, as far as I know, is in Dublin. And Mr. A wrote to me privately and said, "Hey, Cheng En, I traveled to Lisbon to watch football. And I also stayed there for a few months because I love the weather there. And I bought a villa there. So, Cheng En, I want to buy your Portuguese, the tram painting, you know, because I take that every day. It gives me good memories. I can even tell you the service number of the tram." I said, wow. I said, thank you. Then he said, "In addition, I want to commission you to paint 2 paintings of my villa." So I painted for him and I sent it to him. So the joy of painting the painting of his villa was actually much more than the monetary reward that he actually paid me. I mean, he is very, very kind.
Okay, thank you, Cheng En.
Yes. So that actually is my journey of that I can bring memories to people. I can bring happiness to people. So before I took up art, I was under the impression that I had to paint exactly the same scene that I see. But after I took up art, I realized that art is something that is your interpretation of the scene. It's not exactly of the scene. So artists are actually given the artistic license, meaning that in the scene, we can actually add or delete. So if I go and to a scene and I see a building which I like and inspire me, but there's a tree in front blocking it, I can remove the tree and I can paint it. And I can paint it according to what I like because I'm the one in charge. I'm the artist. So basically, this is what we call an artistic license. So knowing this is very liberating. It's very powerful. It gives you the knowledge that you are the creator. You can create everything. So that is what is the joy of painting. So that is basically what is painting is all about. So as I paint, I realized that I owe a lot of people a lot of things because many times they buy me lunch, they give me a lift, they do a lot of things for me. So for me, I think it is a payback time for me to actually reward them. So I will give them my painting. I let them choose a painting as a form of reward. This is my form of paying back. So
okay, thank you, Cheng En. We are running out of time. We'll give other people a chance to speak. Next session, you will tell us more.
That is it. So I hope that you can enjoy the journey and paint. Thank you very much.
Stay there. Mike, can you please let us have the timer's report?
How much time?
Excuse me. Part 1 was 7 minutes. Part 2 was 5 minutes.
I didn't
and 20.
receive the. Sorry, I didn't receive the.
The what?
Sorry,
Oh.
No problem, no problem. We are all learning. Mike, you were saying part one
Chen Yan
is
was
what?
12 minutes 20. Part one was 7 minutes. Part two was 5 minutes and 20 seconds. Altogether, it was 12 minutes and 20.
oh dear, oh dear.
Oh dear.
Apologies.
No problem. I know the feeling. I only stop when the light goes red as well.
No issue. We are all learning. In fact, your speech was so captivating. Most of us do not mind. Keep on listening to you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Stay there. Stay there. One of the benefits of speaking at Agora is to learn from each other. We'll invite your friends here to share some feedback to you. So
Okay.
that,
It's
okay,
my
so that,
painting.
okay, thank you, Vietnam. You stay there and show us a painting. Who want to give feedback to Cheng Yan? Yeah, stay there with your painting. I think we'll invite Raju, our coach, to share some observations.
Cheng Yang, I think that was an excellent speech. You really captivated me. And I like the way in which when you opened the speech, you had a conflict where you were running behind something and then you decide to take a break and all that. And it was a personal story, which adds a lot of credibility and all that. I like the usage of words like cabin fear, game changer, compassion. These are excellent words. And now, suggestions. If I was giving the same speech, I would have actually shown the painting in the starting. You know, then people will know that every word you speak, value increases a lot. They know who's speaking about it.
Yeah, I forgot about it. I actually have my painting, but I forgot about it.
Yeah. No issue. No issue. The best way not to forget at all is to forget once. And one more thing is that if I was giving the same speech, I would have concluded by saying that for me, my passion, painting. What is yours? What gives you joy? You know, some message to the audience need to be there when you're giving a speech. And you have actually repeated twice when you spoke about, you know, it gives me happiness and all that. That's something you need to think about. But overall, a fantastic speech. But I have a small request for you. I have two requests. First one, please give me your contact details. Second one, give me the address of the lady in US. Over
The lady? This lady.
The one in the US who deals only with US dollars.
Oh, okay. Are you artist? You only want to buy art from an artist.
Yeah.
So if you want my contact,
then Mr. Raju put in rupees and get US dollar.
Yeah, if the price is right, Raju become
dollar. Cheng Yan, you post your Facebook link into the chat group. Then all of us, because Cheng Yan do not use WhatsApp, he doesn't believe in smartphone. So you got to contact him, talk to him through his Facebook. Maybe I'll post his Facebook link here.
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah. Post my Facebook link. I don't know how to do that.
Okay, let me post Cheng Yan's Facebook link. You can all be his friend, and then you can see his painting is posted there. Yeah, I'm going to do it right now. Yeah.
Actually, I was so nervous that I had my paintings already around me. I was so nervous that, you know, I forgot all about it. Sorry.
Okay. We'll give you another chance at the next meeting. We'll give you one more chance to do better. Would you like to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Raju.
Next thing, Bumping, I will talk about the benefits of painting.
Yes, of course. We'd like to know more because yours is a personal story, like Raju say, and it's really captivating. I enjoy it very much.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Coach Raju.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cheng Yan. Is there anybody else who want to share some observation? If not, okay. Let's invite Brian. Let's invite Brian. Hold on. Okay,
I love the story. I thought it's very powerful that you could give a personal story and talk about art, which I am also passionate about. I thought maybe in the next time you could just focus on one story, message, and way that you can streamline everything and become very focused. And of course, as Coach Raju said, that every time an artist speak, it's a time for you to advertise your work. So the way to advertise your work, of course, is showing a little bit of that and the way people can find you. So if you have every time that you speak, it's so much easier for people to track you down and buy your work. Other than that, I thought your talk is excellent. It just, you could do it a little better and maybe even watch out for your camera because now you're shaking all over the place.
Yes,
So
I'm sorry. I first time speaking, so very nervous.
if you have a cell phone, that's okay. You could put the cell phone kind of book. Just keep it steady because anytime camera shake, it take away your credibility because people like to be able to see you clearly, to hear you clearly. But if there's no your cell phone shaking and there's background noise and you're not looking into the camera, that will take away your message. So just how other people do it, and certainly we would like to hear you some other time when you have a more streamlined message and a talk. But thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very good advice, indeed. Very good advice. Thank you, Brian. That advice from Raju and from Brian is applicable to all of us. Yeah, it's applicable. All of us should learn from that feedback. Okay, thank you. Who wants to speak next? Please raise your hand. Yeah, Mona, yes. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, all the way from India this time, let's welcome Mona Mehra. Mona, you have 1 minute to introduce yourself, introduce your speech topic, tell us why it's so important to listen to you in 1 minute, and then you have 7 minutes to present your speech. At the 5 minute, if you look at Mike Nicholson, you will see it's going to be a green background. At the 6 minutes, you will see the yellow background. At 7 minutes, you will see the red background. Can you see that? Yeah, after you see the red background, you have about 30 seconds to finish the speech. Are you ready? Oh, we cannot hear you. No, we still cannot hear you. We cannot hear you. Okay, we cannot hear you. Let me see.
I think she logged out and she's coming back again.
Yeah, we'll give her a minute to reset. That's why it's very important to log in early and test the system. If you don't do that, very often we have all kinds of technical hitches. We'll just wait a minute. If not, what we can do is, Jacobus, would you want to go first?
Can I be
Mariashem. Okay, Mariashem want to go first.
Can
I? Yes, of course, of course. Okay. The lighting and things like that, you understand, right? Can you see my screen? Can you see my screen or do you have a stopwatch to check on your timing?
Yes.
Okay, okay. Let me see. I think I just saw Mona check in. I'll just let her know that you will speak first and then she can do it after you. Mona, while you logged out, we have invited Marishan to speak first. Then you come after her, okay? Mona.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Started.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay. Okay.
Or you want to go? You want to go now, or you want to let Marisham go first? Wait, you're muted again. You need to unmute.
Yeah, I'll go after her.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome all the way from India, Marisham.
Thank you. Good evening to one and all present here. This is Mariasham. I study in class 7 to the Khadijatul Kubra Girls Public School. I'm 12 years old. I'm basically from Bihar but country staying in New Delhi. My strengths are I'm self-motivated and a disciplined person. My hobbies are reading books and traveling. That's all about me. Now my today topic is environmental issues. Today I'm going to tell about how many types of environmental issues and how to minimize environmental issues. So here we go. Good evening to one and all. Here I'm Marishams from India, New Delhi. Today I'm going to present speech on environmental issues. Our environment consists all living beings as well as their surroundings. A healthy environment is one that is sustainable for a long period of time. It is the source of life for everyone. It directs the life of everyone and determines the proper growth and development. Environment is the surrounding of an organism. This environment in which an organism lives is made up of various components like air, water, land, etc. These components are formed in fixed proportion to create a harmonious balance in the environment for the organism to live in. Any kind of undesirable and wanted change in the proportion of these components can be termed as pollution. These issues is increasing with every passing year. It is an issue that troubles economically, physically, and socially. The environmental problems that is worsening with each day needs to be addressed so that its harmful effect on human as well as the planet can be redressed. Human depleted natural resources by polluting water, soil, and air. We must tackle the challenges we have created by opening our eyes. The environment has been profoundly impacted by industrial growth. People emit more pollution for more convenience. Human action have an impact on the environment, both directly and indirectly. As a result, there is symbiotic link between a creature and its surrounding. Let us discuss some major issues which our environment is facing nowadays. First, global warming. For most symptoms of natural imbalance is global warming. When greenhouse accumulate and cause the temperature to rise, we see the greenhouse effect. It has an impact on the rising of world ocean level and the melting of Arctic ice. According to specialists, coastal countries and certain Iceland could be overwhelmed by water over several decades. Now, deforestation, cutting of trees. Plants and trees are essential components of human life. Everyone benefits from trees because they give air, wood, and medicine, etc. Forests are being cut down to meet rising demand during the summer. Natural wildfires are common. To maximize profit, people take down trees in ethical manner. Causes of environmental issues with the rise of the industries and the migration of people from villages to cities in search of employment. There has been a regular increase in the problem of proper housing and unhygienic condition of living. This reason has been rise in the factor of pollution. Environment pollution is of five basic types, namely air, water, soil, and noise pollution. Now, how to minimize environmental issues? Here I'm going to tell about how many types of environmental issues. Now I'm going to tell how to minimize environmental issues. To minimize these issues, Preventive measures need to be taken. Principle of 3 Rs to save the environment. Use the principle of 3 Rs. Reuse, reduce, and recycle. Reuse means product again and again instead of throwing away things after one use. Find a way, use them again. Reduce the amount of waste product degenerated. Recycle. Paper, plastic, glass, and electronic items can be proceed into new products while using fewer natural resources and lesser energy. To prevent and control measures of air pollution, including better design, equipment, and smokeless fuel, should be used in home and industries. Now, more and more trees should be planted to control the balance, the ecosystem, and control greenhouse effect. Noise pollution can be minimized by better designing and proper maintenance of vehicles, and industrial noise can be reduced by soundproofing equipment like generators, etc. Um, Several measures can be adopted to in, decrease the water pollution. Some of them are that water requirement can be minimized by altering the techniques involved. Water should be reused with treatment. The quality of water waste discharge should us reduce. Now I'm concluding my speech by saying that let us all join hands to spread environmental awareness in our everyday life as well as our society. Let us work together towards a greener and more sustainable future. Thank you.
Wow, good message. Thank you, Maria Shams. Thank you. Now you stay there. Let's invite some of our friends to share their observations. Maybe NT would like to share some observation.
I think you caught me off guard there. I think you're very brave, Marie Shen. Is that right? If I get your name right? Yeah.
Maria Shen.
Yeah, you're fantastic. You at such a young age, willing to speak in front of adults on the matter. I like your whole 3 points about use, reuse, and recycle, right? That's important. That really brings the point across. It's a very strong point. I guess the only thing is that possibly there were certain parts that you were repeating yourself, but other than that, you seem to have done great. So thumbs up to you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's invite anybody else want to share some observation? Yeah,
Okay,
Coach Raju.
Yeah. Okay. Maria, I like your topic selection, which is something relevant to every one of us, which is great. And you had used some words like ecosystem, redress, these are excellent usage of it. And you also had a specific action plan. Recycle, reuse, and reduce, and all that, which is great. And you said, let's all join hands together. Let's contribute towards the thing. Excellent message to all of us. Now, here are some suggestions. Did you notice you have a beautiful smile? Now, while speaking also, if you show that, that will further glorify. Can I see you smile once? See how beautiful. While speaking also, you should be smiling. And I think you have some notes or something in front of you because you were referring it, but try to make it your own, and because for you, body language comes naturally. When you're catching the mic like this, one hand is stuck and you're trying to use the other hand. I see a lot of...
I don't know what happened at this time. My mic is not working. If I might put down, so it is not working.
Okay. No issue about it. And one more thing, always, this is a mistake most people make, but always look straight into the camera. So people will get an impression that you're speaking to them. But overall, Maria, keep up the public speaking. I see a great star in making. Over to you, Bentek.
Thank you, Coach
Thank
Raju.
you. Thank you to everyone.
Thank you. Anybody feel there's some feedback you want to share with Maria Shan? If not, then we'll invite the next speaker. Same process. Mona, are you ready? Are you ready, Mona?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you hear me first?
Excellent, loud and clear this time. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome all the way from India, Miss Mona Mehra.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for the welcome. My name is Mona Mehra, and I'm a activist, a work home integrator, and a risk management professional. Actually, to tell more about myself, my speech is basically about what I'm doing and why I'm doing. So I'll just go head on into my speech. The topic of my speech is home, a different perspective. What do you do at home? Ask the man or woman who was a mother of 4 kids. She did not know what to say, for she did not have any fancy designation. She was a homemaker. She started her day at 5 in the morning, and then she cooked the tiffin for her children who used to have to go to school. After that, she started cleaning and then did laundry. There was elders to be taken care of. And then she started cooking lunch. By the time lunch was finished, the kids were already there. She had to make them eat, and after that, put them to sleep. And then they got up and she got them to study, did their homework, helped them to do their homework. And after that, there was tea time, and then she started preparation for dinner. Dinner finished, and it was already 10, and she was exhausted. Life was difficult for women in 1890s. And they were a middle-class family. The man moved every 3 years, and whatever friends she made, she lost them because they moved constantly. She did not have her mother or father. Her siblings and family were in remote village, and she could not communicate because communication was not so good in 80s and 90s. The man was very egoistic, and he did not take her to be his equal. All he did was demean her by saying, "What do you do at home?" She lost her self-confidence, self-esteem. She became depressed. Then she started screaming and shouted out of frustration, and she was declared mentally unfit and unwell. Finally, she gave up. And her last words were, "I do not want to live." She was my mother. I have seen this question being repeated over and over again. I have traveled in India to towns and cities, and I've seen uneducated, educated, professional struggle with this question. What do you do at home? I have seen women get burned, absolutely exhausted, stressed, lose their identity, and then leave their children and families because they were so disrespected in a home. Do you ever wonder why we don't see or accept anything at home as work? I have spent my lifetime looking for answer to that question. And it became my mission to raise the perception of a home and a homemaker. I'm a work home integrator. I integrate a workplace to a home to show similarity of operation. But before integrating, I had to define what a home was. What do you think is a home? Anybody here? Give me a one-word answer or write it in the chat. What do you think is a home? What comes across as the first thing when you hear the word home?
Relaxed.
Family.
Sorry?
Family.
Relaxed.
Relax. What else?
Refuge.
Refuge.
Sanctuary.
Okay. Mother, father, anybody?
Yeah. Family.
Family. Okay, let me go ahead. To define a home, it is that a multiple dimensions work simultaneously in a home. A couple get married and they start their own family and a home. Santulan, making gender differences work, is my workshop, which helps men and women understand each other better so that they can live and work in harmony with each other. Now, I am doing this workshop on 21st April with Agora, and I would like to invite each one of you to attend my workshop. Apart from this, what else do you think happens in a home? Do you think there is leadership there? Parents are leaders to children? Yes or no?
Yes.
So we are building leaders. We are inculcating values. Value system starts from a home. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Apart from that, skill building. When we talk about skill building, communication, that's a very important part of soft skills. The first word we must have learned there would have started from a home. Do we start communication skills in a home? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Apart from that, there is bonding. Bonding is supposed to be there. The mother-child bond, daughter-father bond is supposed to be the closest. What do you say? Bonding is there?
Yes.
So there is a lot many skills that we start most of our skill building from home. Now, what I do, how does it help a corporate? I work with dissatisfied middle or senior management people to help them find more satisfied, happier, and engaged workplaces by integrating their work, by doing work-home integration and making it possible for them to have a better work-home balance. Now, apart from that, I help individuals get more self-aware and improve their learning so that they can learn at their own pace at their home places also. Now, I am doing this live show on 10th of April from 4 to 5 to define with the public. I've called public participation to what makes a home. And there are multiple dimensions working. Either we talk about leadership or emotional intelligence. Everything has a starting point at a home. So I'm going to start a series of talks on my Facebook page and call for participation. If you want to attend or participate in that, please free to connect with me. Apart from that, I do workshops on relationship. I do Santulan workshop and I do home integration workshop for individuals and corporates. And if you want, you can connect with me. As well as I would like to say, just open your mind to a possibility of looking at home with a different perspective. Home is the center of our universe, and we seem to have said that when we said that work is just for money, we seem to have excluded a home from living. And all I want to say is that let's include home into living, because we do not survive without a home, and home is where we all start our journey from, and it is the center of our life. I hope to see you all at the workshop and look forward to your listening to your views. Thank you.
Thank you, Mona. Let's invite Mike to give us the timers report.
Okay, Mona was 8 minutes and 39 seconds.
Okay, thank you.
God bless.
Okay, try to keep within the 7 minutes, plus or minus, not so much. Let's invite some feedback. My friends, anybody wish to share some feedback with Mona? Avinda, you raise your hand, Avinda. Where are you? She raised. Avinda, you raise a hand. Would you want to share some feedback with Mona?
Actually, I raised the hand for the next speaker, but I can share.
Yeah, sure. Please go ahead.
Her talk is very much from her own experience from the life, and what she's doing is great. And I think this is one of the area which is very missing, that people are not understanding the meaning of family and also not understanding the meaning of the home. And what she's doing is very important. Sometimes I also think I should do something like this, that tell people, you know, especially the young couple, when they have children, they don't know how to bring up the children. And majority of the problems today, if you look at the youngster, even I live in Singapore, so I talk about in Singapore terms. Although in Singapore we have a great schools, great education system, but what we are producing at the end of it, is that P3 we stream them out. 90% of the students, we take top ones. We say, second, hello, can I speak a little bit? I don't understand.
No, carry on. I think there's some interference.
Yeah. So at the end of it, what happens is that to make your child be successful in Singapore, it all depends on your family. My own daughter on P3 was condemned. She was put in a class where every day she will come and complain that, oh, this class is very noisy, cannot study. So my wife resigned and we calm her down because she has some issues and because she always think nobody loves her. That was her statement every time. So we just give her the love. We didn't do anything. And then me and my wife just worked a little bit on her. We didn't coach her, nothing. Next year she go to the good class. And at last because of the family, we give her a family atmosphere and everything. She go and become she achieved great heights after that. And she was a condemned child as per the Singapore education system. And at last she goes and go to the O level and she get into the Singapore national junior kayaking team, and she go on to become a captain of the junior team. And she come back from she every day she do so many things at that year in the O level, and her principal don't want her to be a part of the team. So principal come and interview us, and at last, because of the family we atmosphere we provide, she still get a 7A and 2A2 after so many in O level. And then it is all due to family. That's why I'm saying that sometimes I also feel that I should start something in Singapore to for the new young parents to understand how should they bring up their child. Don't depend on the Singapore education system. I also read sometime in the social media that third grade university people from India are getting a higher pay job from us study in Singapore good universities. But it's not the matter of university. It's the matter of family.
Absolutely. In fact, you told me your story, and I'm so glad the family was there. I've seen so many cases where everybody has left their child in the crash, or nobody was ready to leave their jobs because everything is, the system is so bad where we only talk about the work as money, and the child itself. I've seen them, go down the, become psychotics, and they are gone into drugs and. That is, I have so many stories which are really sad, but that is good. What you talk about is the family is the biggest support, and that is what I'm trying to highlight. Yeah.
No, we decided, okay, we leave. My wife said, can you support the family?
Let me interrupt you, Arvinda. There's really a lot to discuss. This is a really worthwhile topic. I want you, if you can, connect directly with Mona. Maybe you can do something in Singapore similar to what Mona is doing. It can be a global movement.
Okay.
Yeah, we are in the same chat group. So
I'll connect with you. I'll connect with you. That would be nice.
Okay, thank you. So
Okay.
rest her all views are very good.
yeah, thank you. Maybe Coach Raju can help us with some of his observations.
Yeah, I think the topic selection is an excellent one. That is something which is applicable to every one of us as audience, which is great. And you had some usages like demean, self-esteem and all that. And when you spoke, you really spoke like a professional speaker with pauses and, like when you said something profound so that people can digest what you're asking. And you also you connected to the audience by asking them questions and you try to make it interactive, which is great. Now, here are some few suggestions. For the first 5.5 minutes, we could barely watch your hands. I don't know what happened after 5.5 minutes. Suddenly, your hands have come to the full glory. So that's something, like, because we have to use the hands to our advantage. And even when you're using, it was always like this. It was always like this. So just use it to your advantage, like to emphasize a particular point or things like that. And now, when we give the character, now when you would have mentioned the name of your mother, so that we can relate. When you're speaking, we can relate to the character. That would have been great. Now, the emotions, your voice inflections, when you were speaking, it was at the same tone. Probably, like in between, it needs to have a roller coaster of emotions. So put all the emotions. So you take the audience through a journey. And one more thing is that if I was giving the same speech, what I will do? I will talk about only one aspect of a home and give a clear story about it and say what benefits, how you made people to think beyond a certain level. And then this is only a starting. Now, if you attend my session, you will know 10 other things like this, something like that. So just one message with more impact. But overall, thank you very much, Mona. Wonderful speech. But just on a lighter note, let me tell you, nowadays, men have to work after COVID more hard than the women. Over to you, Bentley.
Thank you. Thank you, Coach Raju. For those of you who want to learn more a little bit from Coach Raju, he conducts workshop, I think with the Romania club. So if you want, please connect with Coach Raju. He will send you the link to his workshop. I think it's on Saturdays, if I remember correctly.
Sunday.
Sunday. Yeah. Those who want to learn more, please.
Sunday at 4 o'clock Singapore.
Sundays, 4 o'clock Singapore. Connect directly.
Sunday Singapore at 4 o'clock.
Okay. Let's see if anybody else want to share some feedback. Is there anybody else who have something you want to share with all of us? If not, let's invite the next speaker. I can see Wanda has already raised his hand. So let's put our hands together to welcome the next speaker for this evening, Arvinda Singh.
Hi, everyone. My name is Irvinder. I come from the Western Himalayas, Himalayan town Manali. And my family run a food processing business there. But then I decided to go away from my family business. I started an adventure travel agency there in Manali in 1989. So then I met my wife there in 1992, and then she's Singaporean Chinese. So then we married in 94, and then she stayed with me for 6 years in Singapore, and then we moved to Singapore in the year 1999, December. So that because of our elder daughter, my wife wanted her to educate here. So we have now 2 daughters, both are in university. Anyway, then I started another travel agency here in Singapore also in 2013. So I started a new brand here called Himalayas on Wheels. So first I tell you about, okay, this is about me. Now I talk about the travel. Travel is one of the great experience. Travel provide you longer lasting sense of happiness than material purchases. Do you agree with this statement? You can buy something from the market for the same price or even more price or whatever, but the material won't give you the same happiness, but the travel can give you. And the material can one day will be gone. But the travel experience and what you learn in that is always your permanent asset. Do you agree with me on this statement?
Yes.
Yep.
If you think carefully,
Yes.
you will realize that your most treasured experiences are travel. And it may not be the international travel. It can be just the travel to the within your own country, within your own town. When you explore, you will find that the travel is very important. Even during COVID, I organized SRB tours for Singaporeans. And they were so amazed at the things I was showing them as a foreigner to Singaporean. And they all love it. They all like it. At the end of it, they all become like my friends now. They all off and on send me the message. So this is all about travel. So so if you think travel is something not only provide you the good experience of knowing other cultures, it also help you to get the better health. One minute. So if you travel also provide you a lot of ideas. You go to a different place, then you learn different things there. Like you are doing in any profession, whatever you are doing, when you go to the different place, and then you will see the same thing is done in a different way there. Then when you come back to your job, you can actually put that into your own job. Travel also provide you a lot of relaxation. And now I'll tell you something about because I come from the Himalayas, so I have a small slide presentation where you can see how you travel from Kashmir to Ladakh and how you can experience the different formation of the Himalayas. So I share the slides from the one of the trip in the Himalayas, which is from Kashmir to Ladakh. Share. Okay, screen share.
Don't forget to activate audio visual on the bottom left.
Audio visual on the bottom line.
Before you come out, so I'm not sure if you can do it from here.
One second.
Corner, there are 2 buttons, just click them and then share.
Have a problem here.
Start
I stop share first, then I start
again. Yeah, go. Okay, yeah. Then go to your desk.
Sorry, it got out. I got out, so I'm in again. I share the screen again. 1 second, share screen. Okay, share. Can everybody see my screen now?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Okay, okay, so sorry. Okay, now you can see the Himalayas on wheel. I've got a Himalayas on wheel. In Himalayas on wheel, we just have make up many different parts. So this is part 3. In this, you can see the journey, how it moves. You arrive at Delhi and then you fly to, yeah. Okay. So you are just driving all the way from Srinagar to Ladakh. You can see some photos further. This is Kashmir. This is Srinagar, where there are a lot of houseboats, and here you will meet your escort who will take you to who will be following you all the way from Srinagar to Ladakh. And then this is, you are going to stay in the houseboat. Your luggage is taken in this kind of shikara also. You have some ride in the shikara, and this is all is called Lower Himalayas. This is in the Lower Himalayas, and these are the views there. There are even the shops on the shikaras. They are selling things there. This is just the houseboat, and they are stationary. These houseboats are not moving houseboat. This is inside the houseboat. It's a living room in the houseboat. This is the bedroom. Either you can stay 3 people or 2 people, but they have a 2-bedroom setting. This is Mughal Gardens in Srinagar. This is Gulmarg. You also visit this highland there. You have a gondola ride to go to the high place, and you can have this view from the top. Then this place is called Sonamarg. Sonamarg means Sona is gold, Marg is a road. So this is this place is called Gold Road because here I have a lot of they grow wheat and rice, so that all turn into golden color by September. So there are a lot of meadows here. This all part is the Lower Himalayas, and then you go on to the first high Himalayan pass. This is called the Jojila Pass, which is in the ranges of the Himalayas. And you can see the difference from the one side of the pass is very green, and then the moment you move to the other side, it is very barren. So you can see that, experience that change in the landscape. This is one of the Buddha statue there. On the roadside, there is it's made on the rock. It's a hole on a big rock mountain. Then you will be passing by all the villages along the route. You will cross another pass. You will cross 3 passes, but only the one pass you can feel is the pass. Other 2 passes you don't feel. This is Lamayuru. And yeah, this is the Lama. This place is called Moonland because you can see the landscape here. You can view that from Lamayuru Monastery. And this is Alchi Monastery. And this is Leh. This is one of the monastery nearby called Tikse. It's inside that monastery. This is when you go on a festive season, you can see this monastic dance is there, which is all the story about the good and the bad. And this is inside one of the monastery, very famous monastery called Himis Monastery. And these are the people there. Then you go to one of the lake, and thank you. So this is all about, you see, in about 10 days, you can experience so many different formation of the Himalayas. This is what you can learn a lot, and this experience will be always with you for your life. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Avanda. That's quite an adventure. Let's invite some friends to share the observation. Perhaps Rihanna, would you want to share?
Yes, I can. Right. So it was very beautiful. I'm very inspired. I always wanted to go to the Himalayas. That has always been my dream, and stay in the houseboat. And yeah, it's a very beautiful presentation. And the slides were very interesting and impactful as well. Besides that, I think you gave a very nice overview of what the whole thing was. I did join a little late, but I caught most of what you said. So points of improvement, maybe the tone of voice, you can alter it a little bit, because then it will make it so exciting. Like, wow, look at this beautiful. I mean, that's my style, but in order to get people excited about wanting to go there, maybe you can start with a little story. When I was young, did you grow up in the Himalayas, sir?
Yeah, I'm always going from young.
Right. So for you, you've always been there. So you understand the beauty of it, and you appreciate. So maybe you can start with your little stories. I grew up, in the beautiful cold mountains, something like that. So it makes people want to listen to your story and make you feel so excited about wanting to go there right now. And when you tell the story, you want them to come with you right now, into your world, into your space, and into the beautiful place that you have. So I think a little bit of that will really excite everyone. Other than that, that's my comments. Thank you so much. It was beautiful.
Yeah, thank you, Rihanna. You are right about the arousing the excitement and the emotion part of it with the voice and body language. Okay, thank you. Who else shall we invite? Any other volunteer to share something? Brian, would you want to give some observation?
Sure, yes.
Yes, let's welcome.
Yeah, I love
Brian.
those pictures. And I thought that you do one, just like Rihanna said, you do show us the best part of the tour, and you inspire every single one of us here probably wanted to go and visit and use your service there. If I could give you one suggestion, it's probably to practice in your slides and visual aid ahead of time, because anybody who's on Zoom take 1 minute to look for the slides and click here, click there. It just look pretty bad on you, no matter how you do it, because you could easily practice before the meeting, and even before everybody speaks, you say, hey, could I just try my slides? And I don't think people will mind letting you try ahead of time. And practice, you could do it very seamlessly, and that could show that you are well prepared for this. Because no matter how much you prepare for a talk, if something like that fell through, it would look pretty bad on you. So just watch out for that. It's very simple. Just take some practice and you will do great. But I love those things. If I had the time and the energy and the vacation days, I would definitely go and check it out, because even one of those days that a fortune teller told me one of my past life was in the Himalayas, and I can't wait to explore that. And thank you for showing us a little bit of the good side of it. Thank you.
So are you Vinda's great-great-grandfather?
Possibly. No, actually, it's such a lovely place. I didn't expect to see that river and the water scene. I was expecting like it's a very dry, arid place. So I was really surprised about the boat and in fact, people living in the boat itself. So it's something of a surprise to me. And I'm really intrigued by the beauty and the contrast as well. So thank you very much, Vinda. Okay, is there anybody else who have something that they feel they wish to share? If not, then let's invite the next speaker, And she is none other than Daria Simon, all the way from Romania. Yeah. Daria, you have 1 minute to introduce yourself and introduce your topic and tell us why it's so exciting to listen to you. And then 7 minutes to present your speech. And you look up for Mike for the timing sequence, the lighting. Okay.
Actually, I think it would be better to just start and not introduce anything because it will kind of ruin the surprise.
Okay, sure. When you are ready, let's go. Let me introduce Daria Simon from Romania.
Close your eyes. Come on, just do it. Take a deep breath. Inhale, exhale, just try to relax. Boom. Did I scare you? Yeah, probably not. But at least I scared myself. Because lately, every time I hear the word boom, my whole body begins to shiver. Why? Because I imagine it every time. I picture that horrible scenery that will make everyone shiver too. Word. And now is the perfect moment for you to do it too. So, pretend that you wake up one day and before going to work, you turn on the TV by mistake, just like you do it every time. And here comes the boom. The TV presenter who usually talks about the zodiac begins to tell you that your country is at war. So you have to live it as soon as possible. Just a bad joke, I guess, right? You say in your mind. You skip the program, but unfortunately, nothing changes because it says the exactly same thing. Word. So what happens next? Panic. It's only panic. Because all you have to do now is to pack your whole past in only one backpack, which you will carry on your way to nowhere. What about your children? How will their future look like? What about your parents? Will you really leave them behind? What about everyone? And at that moment, you begin to realize how hopeless you are. Because you literally can't do anything to stop the war. Because this is not about you, a civilian. It's about the big ones who pay the price through us, who actually don't play because they're only in the background, who think they can play God exactly how they want it and still win every time. You know, when I first heard about the war between Russia and Ukraine, which is happening right now next to our border, I simply collapsed. I have already felt dead. I mean, what will happen to my family? What will happen to me? What if my dog is not allowed in the bunker? What if? What if? And I realized that if something like that happens in my country, I lose everything. Every little thing I had, even the ones I hated the most. So maybe you'd ask yourself now, what is the main key to the problem? What should I do? Well, I will tell you what I did. I tried to calm down, but nothing seemed to work out. I tried to go to another country, but that was not a realistic option. And I needed real things in that moment. I tried to be optimistic and hope that the whole thing will stop soon. But I didn't really believe in my own thoughts because I couldn't. Who knew what could happen next? So the conclusion is there is no key because there will never be one. war is war, so you can't do anything to stop it. You just have to embrace it, to accept it, and to learn to live with it without destroying yourself, even if that means you have to lose everything. Thank you.
Oh, it's such a touching presentation, Daria. And at your age, you are 16 years old, am I correct?
Yep.
And you're living in such a difficult time. The war is just across the border from you, near to you. And I
Yeah,
can
we see a
imagine,
lot of refugees, and it's very creepy, I could say. And the propaganda is also very big and dangerous. You don't even know what to think about the whole situation.
yeah, when you speak, I can like imagine what it's like to wake up to the sound of boom, and then you don't know what's going to happen next, right? You got to go into the bomb shelter and you don't even know whether your dog is allowed to be there or anything else. So I can imagine how scary it is. Yeah. Thank you for presentation. Let's invite Coach Raju has to leave soon to he has something else that had to do. So I think we should not waste the opportunity to learn from him. Let's invite Coach Raju to share the some feedback.
Wow, Benpin, you're putting me in a tight spot. Daria, I must say that it was a very compassionate speech, and I took a breathe in and breathe out, and then the boom. I said, what the hell is happening? Why is she asking me? You know, it was a very creative opening for your speech. And I like the way you actually described the situation. Take a backpack and just leave. What happened? Excellent, excellent. You know, I have absolutely no suggestions in terms of, you know, that's what they say in speeches. What comes from within touches the people audience heart, and it is what exactly you have done. Now, only suggestion what I have is that probably, you know, connecting with the audience in the sense that next time your back is to the wall, what would you do? Treasure every moment of life before it's too late. You know, something like that. So, you know, you have a message for the audience together with your experience. Thank you, Daria. You made my day. I can just tell you that. Over to you, Ben.
Thank you, Raju. Daria is one young person I like to listen to because you look around the room. She is one of the young persons together with Maria Shen, and these are the future leaders. When we have young people like that speaking out, it gives me a lot of hope, a lot of comfort that the future, there is something positive that can happen now. Yeah, it may look difficult, it may look dark, but I think as long as you keep on speaking up, you can help make the world a better place. I encourage you to keep on speaking. I hope one day you will be the leader in your country and you will make sure no more boom, no more hiding in the bomb shelter, no more refugees. I think you can make a difference. Yeah. Anybody else want to share some feedback with Daria? Because I think if you can help her do better, I think, okay, we have Mike.
Daria, I would recommend that you start taking notes, either write a journal every day or, you know, whenever you have time, or start writing a book on your experiences, because this is a once you already started.
Yeah, I wrote 3 books.
Wow.
Yeah, okay. No, about the war, I mean, about the last 5-6 weeks, because this is something that you're going to live with for the rest of your life. Yeah, the memories of what's going on at the moment. And I mean, from an outsider's point of view, I mean, this is going to be a long episode. This is not going to be over in the next 2 or 3 weeks. It's probably going to go on for a few years, which is really depressing. So you have to be ready for that. But every tunnel has a light at the end of it, and you have to keep going. Yeah, so one step forward all of the time, just keep moving forward. I was in a excuse me, I was in a similar situation when I was 15, 1964. I arrived in a really peaceful country called Singapore. And I arrived in the morning, 6 o'clock. By 6 o'clock in the evening, the building next to me in Clemenceau Avenue for the Singaporeans had a bomb explode in it. And that was the beginning of the race riots and the confrontasi with Indonesia. We were technically, when I was in Singapore, we were technically at war with Indonesia. Malaysia, Singapore was part of Malaysia, and the fighting was not happening in Singapore. It was mostly happening at Sarawak in Borneo. But in Singapore, it was a dangerous place to be. Yeah, I mean, there were bombs going off in elevators. On my way home, we passed one of the buildings, McDonald's house near Lee Kuan Yew's residence. And again, as a kid, you know, living through that, it was in a way exciting because we didn't have any other entertainment. You made your own entertainment. And I was illegal there. I'd come from Germany, and the German British Broadcasting Service was on VHF, which was the police frequency in Singapore. So it was actually illegal to have a radio that was VHF. But during the riots and what was going on, I would listen to the police moving around Singapore. I would listen to the British tanks driving down Malaya to Singapore at night. And it was, you know, say as a kid, it was exciting, but there were a lot of people that died. It was not as bad as it is in Ukraine, but it is similar, yeah. And my memories now, 50 years later, is I wish I had written down, you know, my thoughts at the time. My thoughts are still very vivid. It really is just like yesterday, honestly. Yeah, I have so many stories of my time in Singapore that are fresh and they're 50 years old. But a great speech, yeah, so think of the positive, yeah, don't think of the negative. Yeah, there is so much good that will happen, that will come out of this. It's just so sad that so many people will suffer with their life. I mean, it really is really sad, but well done. Keep writing, keep writing. This is a particularly interesting period that will be worth sharing with people in the world. Thank you. Back to you.
Yeah, just one comment, Daria, is that keep the smile going and take the challenge upon yourself that you should be a source of inspiration for the people around you. The true leader comes in times of crisis, and you are the leader.
Thank you.
Thank you, Raju. I felt Daria can actually make a lot of difference. Yeah, because we are in Singapore, very far away, right? And then we have a lot of information. We do not know what to believe, who to believe. If you are there, you know what's happening. You share, whether in writing or short video clip. I think it helps us a lot, and it's very inspiring, especially when young people start to share how they feel, what can be done, right? And Daria, if the bombing gets too near to your home, take a flight to Singapore or Qatar or Indonesia. We will welcome you. Yeah, thank you very much. Is there anybody who wish to share? Jerry, can you stop sharing screen, Jerry? Yeah, stop, because it interrupts the process. And if there's no other people wanting to share, I want to invite the next speaker. The next speaker comes from New Jersey, near New York, in the East Coast of America. Is a very good friend, old friend. I know him for many, many years, a very accomplished speaker, accomplished leader as well in the Toastmasters. So I want you to put your hands together to welcome Brian Lin.
Thank you, Bom Pen. 2 weeks ago, when Bom Pen posted the topic of today, peace on earth, and I thought about the war going on in the world right now. And I'm really struggled and puzzled. Why are there so many conflicts and war in the world? And why can't we have the world peace? And then it dawned on me. In fact, there is a very small group of elite, the smartest, the brightest people in the world who wanted world peace. And smartest, wisest, it's probably all out of their own imagination. And today I will talk about these people. We call them the dictators. And they may call themselves the president, the empire, the best of the best, the smartest, the genius, and they want world peace. And their way of making the world peace is to have everybody in the world listen to their ideas, follow their orders. I remember one time when I asked one of the people, what is teamwork? And that person said, teamwork is everybody do what I said. The same concept with peace is that according to those super smart people, if everybody listen to them, everybody follow their lead, there'll be world peace. There will be no war. And why are there wars? Because some people don't listen to me and I want to take them down. And that's how wars began. But if we take it narrow down, not just talking about the global big scale wars, we talk about individuals. If I tell you to do this and that and to believe that, and you don't, what should I do? First, I would take you on the TV. I would talk about you. I would berate you. I would say bad things about you. And people, if I do it long enough, if I repeat the same thing over and over again so many times, some people, the stupid ones, will believe me. So repetition is kind of the good weapon they use to have people to listen to them. And that actually worked very well because there's an old saying that if you repeat a lie 100 times, it becomes a truth. And that is why the Russian state newspaper is called Truth. The same with a new type of social network in US called Truth Social, because anything that you said 100 times, 1,000 times, it becomes truth in some way. Let's look at another thing that all the smartest dictators or emperors would do is to cultivate their own followers or supporters. The easiest way to do that is to invoke hate. Because if you ask a happy person, a satisfied person to fight for you with his or her life, I don't think you'll be successful. So you have to find the unhappy people. Why are people unhappy? If you lose a war, for example, World War I, your country lost. It's not your fault. It's the Jewish people that make you lose the war. The same thing in US. If you lost your job, it's the Chinese it's the Mexicans who take your job. So it is your job to actually hate them and follow me, because I am the smartest, I am the best person. And if you follow my order, you'll become one of the most successful people too. And of course, I can, or they could show you the successful examples. Just looking into Russia, how many people make a fortune by following their leaders? Think about those oil tycoons. They make so much money because they follow the leader. They listen to the person, they do what he said, and now they're rich. They're so successful, everybody look up to them. And that's how these people started, by having this mindset. I'm the best person. I'm the smartest person. If you follow me, if you do what I said, you'll be successful. If you don't, then I'll take you down, either by talking about you, talking bad, really bad about you on TV, or try to poison you or put you in jail. Start a war to kill all the people that supported you and not listen to me. So ladies and gentlemen, to have war peace is very simple. You just become a dictator and then just have everybody listen to you and follow your brilliant ideas. And there will be no war everywhere. You know I'm joking, right? I don't think anybody want to be a dictator. How can we, the dictators or the emperor, taking over our world? The very simple thing or motto I would share with you today is live and let live. Because you're not the smartest person in the world. I am not the smartest person in the world. And in fact, there's so many different kinds of people in the world. And everybody has a brain and a mind that could think the same thing, or it could be different. But if we could just leave and let other people live the way they like, if they don't harm us, then that will be world peace. If we wanted to have war to take down people because they don't listen to us, because they don't follow us, even they speak the same language or they live next to us, there'll be so much more conflict or war around. So let's just live and let live, and there'll be world peace. Back to you.
Thank you, Brian. Excellent topic selection, excellent thesis. Let's invite Mike to give the timer's report.
Okay, I started counting from the very beginning of your talking, Brian, and in total it was 7 minutes and 20 seconds. I guess that maybe 30 seconds at the beginning was introduction. I wasn't quite sure where the introduction stopped and the speech started. So 7:30 anyway, so you're qualified, but you could have probably spent a bit longer talking about your subject. But thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Anybody want to share feedback? Mike, do you have any feedback you want to share with Brian?
Of course. How could one not feedback? Okay, things to applaud. I think you have a very nice speaking voice, very easy to listen to what you're saying. Yeah, very, very clear, very pronounced. The content of the speech, I thought could have been a little bit more, not structured so much, but a little bit more forceful. Yeah, I think it was a little bit flat. Yeah, I think, add a little bit more oomph, bit more emotion, to the speech. It would have been really good. But yeah, listening to you and your examples, were very valid, very interesting. to compare your experience with my experience, and it was a good speech. Thank you so much, Brian.
Thank you, Mike. Anybody else who have some reaction to Mike's speech that are not Mike, Brian's speech that you wish to share? Dr. Hoon, how do you react to Brian's speech?
No, I thought that was, oh, hi, Brian. Hi, Bumping. I thought that was a good speech, and I knew exactly what who he was referring to. I think I knew he was referring to. Yes, yeah. I agree with your notions of live and let live. That was a good one. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Hoon. Yeah, indeed, this is very difficult time, and it's like there's no end to the war and the violence. And the war can not necessarily be the bombs falling down in Ukraine. The war can be happening in our own home, in our neighborhood. When people don't listen to you, what would you do? Right? So if you start saying bad things about people, you keep on repeating it until everybody believes that is really a bad guy. And it happens everywhere. So I'm really glad Brian brought this up. Yeah, with a lesson all of us should learn and observe what is happening around us. Those are the things that's happening around us every day, right? And we got to learn how to deal with it. Okay, thank you very much, Brian. Appreciate your sharing. Okay, Jacobus has volunteered to be the next speaker. Jacobus, do you have a timer to keep track of your time, or do you wish to watch the mic screen for the color lights?
I will watch Mr. Mike's screen.
Can you see his screen?
Yes.
Okay, very good. The same thing, 1 minute to introduce yourself. Tell us about the topic you wish to speak about and why is it so important. And then 7 minutes to complete your speech. Ladies and gentlemen, all the way from Indonesia, is it 12-year-old?
11.
11-year-old, my goodness. 11-year-old concert performer on the piano. Let's welcome Jacobus Patrick.
Okay, thank you. Hi everyone, today I will talk about thoughts outside the world. So I agree with the speeches before, which is about war from Daria and from Brian. So war is problem on our world, but what if we think deeper? So it's what I'm talking about. And I will introduce myself. So hello, I'm Patrick. I am 11 years old. And my hobby is to play piano. So if we think deeper on those words, that we think we live not only in the world, because world is a very small place in the universe. So world is less than 0.01% of the universe. If you can calculate it, then it's a very small percentage of the universe. So if you took the wars on the world and took that to compare to the entire world, that's big. But if you compare the world to the place that we can go, it's small. So it's right, we need to fix war, but not only in this world. This world is already big for us, but is small for us who think deeper. So it's very good. It's very good if you want to improve the world. So I need few questions in another Agora group, and all answers say, if I can, I will improve the world. But what if I told you we lived on Mars? So we see that we need not only to improve this world, but other worlds that humanity can live on. And to think deeper, then we need to be different from people. The average people, for example, it thinks in the first box of thinking. And the more number, it means it carry the smaller numbers. So if you are thinking out of the box, or you are different from people, or you want to summarize how many boxes are there to think about, there are infinite for every aspect. If you want to think that, so I said to you, we need to improve every world that humanity can live. But what if there is not only the world that are in this universe, but there are other universes? Or there are infinite worlds, or infinite worlds, because some infinite are bigger than others. Infinite times infinite is more than infinite. So we need to think deeper if we want to improve the world. As the space law, no one can own space, but the chances are low for everything. It's never zero. The chance of everything happen can be low, but it can't be never zero. Everything has a chance. There is a chance that we live on other worlds, or there is a chance that we will go extinct. So if you want to improve the world, think again until you got the right box for you to think. And to think out of the box, I will give you a tip. Guess a number that 66% of the average guesses. Okay, you will select 66. If the limit is 0.200, then you select 66. But is that right? Not anyone will select 100. Why? Because it's the max. So people will select 66 and you will select 40 then, and then you win. But people know that you are going to select 40. And people know that 66 is just the first box. Then people go to 40 and then you go to 26. All goes back to zero. So if you are answering zero at that question, then congrats, you are in the biggest possible box to think that contains all boxes. Because zero is the infinite. If you want to go to zero from 100 by multiplying that by 0.66, it's not finite times that you need to multiply that. So you need to take this to think about. There are infinite boxes to think, and you don't need to think in the biggest box. You need to think in the right box for you. Sometimes there are infinite spaces or boxes for you to think about an aspect, but humanity can think at the infinite, not only the finite. So you will need to find the right box. And there is a quote I like to give this to you. No one has ever improved the world by following what the world tells them to you. So if someone is told by their parents or just everyone, so let's just call that word, the word told the thing to the child. So there's a child, and then the word told go to school and then go to work, and then there is just a normal life. But if you could, you can be think outside the box or be different from people, because box means that the bigger the box, the different you more of the people, because box means that people think in that, like that. So if you want to think deeper outside the box, then you will need to be different from people. You don't need to listen from word, and you need to think yourself. You need to think yourself, to think deeper, and to improve every word that humanity can ever live. Thank you.
Patrick, you selected the right topic. Think deeper. I think you are one of the rare people who think so deep. You think of multi-universes, infinite world. And this is something that very few people think about, and how to improve it as well. So in fact, some of the thoughts you share are so deep that it's very difficult for me to even follow closely. Yeah, I must congratulate you. That is really a very deeply researched presentation. Let's invite the timer to give the timer's report. Mike, please.
Timer's report was precisely 7 minutes. Patrick, you're doing really well.
Wow, Patrick, great job. Okay, feedback. Who would like to share some feedback? Maybe start with Mike.
Okay, great presentation, Patrick. You're very well thought through, well structured, well presented. It was very easy to listen to what you were saying. So your English was good. Things for improvement, you could add more body language, a little bit more excitement to the topic. Yeah, bring it to life. Yeah, use body language more. And that will attract more people to watch and to listen to what you're saying, put it into practice. But apart from that, no, it's good presentation. Thank you.
I would add small thing only.
Yes, fire away.
He need to smile a bit. He's very serious. Smile a bit. Can you smile a bit?
No, it's a ration. He used up his smile ration this morning.
So you have a little bit smile is better. Then it become more lighter.
Yeah, but he's talking about a very serious topic.
You have to bring humor in there.
Yeah, I agree. Sorry.
Can I give a feedback? So sorry, my video is giving me a little bit.
No problem.
Give a quick. Okay, so it's a very, very deep topic, and for laymen, it can be a little bit overwhelming. So I would suggest simplify it, because if you simplify it, people will, I mean, at the level you are speaking is really deep. I think maybe like scientists or something, ordinary people may get a little bit bored with that. So you need to really simplify it, you know. But I did get quite a few, and also there was a repetition of the word out of the box. If you repeat it too many times, it loses its impact as well. So I would be very strategic where I want to put that phrase in. That would give it the best impact. So I think that would be my suggestion. Make it very simple for the people to understand, even though it may be a deep topic, but it must be simplified so that, you know, it appeals to everyone. And strategize where you want to put your certain phrases. Don't overuse it, because I tend to do that myself. I overuse some sentences and then it loses its impact. So this two quick tips. Other than that, it was fabulous. You are very easy to listen to. Your diction is very good, and you know, you look awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Rihanna. Thank you, Patrick. You are really. Yeah, sure, Gustav.
Patrick, for an 11-year-old that you are, the topic that you have selected is such a mind-blowing one. You are talking about multiverses, you are talking about infinity. For a young kid of your age, talking about infinity itself is remarkable. And it's an amazing one. The way you have, I'll just go into the content. The content was really something kept me on the hook. I was looking for what next, everything. And absolutely good job. And I'll suggest you two, if you are not following these two people, you might like to follow them. One is Neil deGrasse. He is a theoretical physicist, and you can actually follow his YouTube channel called Star Talk. And there are a lot of humor. You can actually look at his style also. And he's an absolutely terrific scientist, and he actually makes the whole whatever topic you are talking about, make it very easy to understand. And the second person is Professor Mikio Kaku. He also in the same line, and you will definitely enjoy listening to him. Both of them, they have their own YouTube channel. And I'm pretty sure you'll find a lot of interesting thoughts from here. And please do keep your interest in this area. You will go a long way. Possibly another 20 years down the line, you will be feeling very proud that you gave your such an interesting topic to this crowd. Well done, Patrick. Absolutely brilliant.
Kostov, I think you type in the two names into the chat group so that Patrick can save that. Patrick, I agree totally with Kostov. You exercise very deep thinking. You have your special interest, and there are two role models that Kostov has introduced. You should watch their video presentation. They are very skilled in making very complex information easily understood by the layman. Whereas you have a lot of complex ideas, you may not be skilled like Mikio Kaku or deGrasse in presenting it for the layman. Yeah, so if you can do that, you can really change the world a lot faster. So congratulations, Patrick. We still have a few more speakers who want to go next. You can raise your hand. Okay, next speaker will be Rihanna. Rihanna, the same thing. First you unmute yourself, 1 minute to introduce your topic and introduce yourself, and then 7 minutes to present your speech. Okay, the timing sequence, are you familiar?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I won't be introducing myself first. I will go straight into my speech.
Okay, sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Go ahead, Rihanna Abdullah.
The doctor came and gave the child to the father. The father looked at it. Engineer, that's what he said. Another child came out, passed to his father. Doctor, that's what he's going to be, doctor. And one more child, a girl child. Lawyer, that is what she's going to be, lawyer, said her father. In India, or in Indian families, I would say, the child's destiny is already presented by the time they are born. The father predicts that he's going to be a doctor, a lawyer, or engineer, the only three professions that are respected in Indian families. Don't talk to me about being a DJ, a footballer, or anything like that. That is definitely a no-no. What am I going to do? I have to live up to my parents' expectation. So I grew up wanting to be a doctor, of course. That is my passion. That is my mission. I want to be a doctor. I want to impact the lives and I want to save the lives. And I don't want to be any doctor. I want to be the surgeon, the top doctor that ever could be. That is what I want to be. Well, I took triple science, double maths at college, and I made sure I wanted to become a surgeon that my father had destined me to be. It was my destiny. But alas, the results didn't came out as flattering as he would have liked. And guess what? I did not become a doctor. Not even a GP, not even any doctor. I had to tread a different path. The path that just came along the way. I took up another course called tourism, and I pursued that for 9 months, and I graduated, and I did very well. Guess what? I love traveling as well. So I ended up being a travel agent for many, many years. Doctor, well, that is a far off dream that I never, ever thought of pursuing again. And so I continued on my path. Many of us go through life, not just in Indian families, maybe in many cultures and many families, where their destiny is predicted by someone else. And they just follow and fit into the box, as Jacobus said. We fit into the box that we have been brought up in. And we try to fit in even though we don't feel that our heart is in it. I pursued my passion. I pursued my travel. And I really enjoyed what I did. But was that my mission in life? I felt something missing. I felt that there was more to it. I wanted to do more. Yeah, I was impacting people's life. I was planning their tours and travel. I was bringing them to destinations and making them happy and excited. And see all the beautiful places. Maybe I could bring them to the Himalayas one day as well. But I wanted more. Fast forward many, many years until I came into my late 40s. And during that time, I wanted to pursue something else. I went into teaching and I was impacting some lives in school. And what happened was, I realized that was something that gave me so much happiness, that gave me so much, so much energy to be with these young people, to want to impact them. And that, in the end, became my mission, to change the world. At 16, I had said, I want to change this world. I screamed from the top of my bedroom out into the thing. But yet, I didn't know what I was going to do. At 45, I found my passion, my mission, my purpose in life. And that was to impact the world with my voice, to change the world by impacting the lives of the people around me. And that became my mission. A lot of us feel that our mission should be defined from the time maybe we leave school, but that's not true. A mission is something that you find purpose, that you find the drive to go on. On days when it's struggling, when you feel that there's nothing more, you feel that urge to continue. And that is my mission. A mission to change the world, to impact the lives of the people around me, and to create a magnificent and beautiful society. My mission. What is your mission? And if you haven't found it, I urge you, continue searching for it. Continue, because it is what your heart wants. And when you do something that your heart wants, you will never, 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 ever feel that, lack of energy. We all have a mission in our life, but we all have different times of finding it. And we have all different times of reaching it. So fear not if you've not found your mission. Keep on searching and you will find it. I would like to leave you with this one saying. My mission in life is to live, is not just to survive, but to thrive. But in order to do so, I will do it with some passion, lots of compassion, some humor, and lots of style. That's how I'm going to pursue my mission. Over back to you.
Oh, thank you, Rihanna. Awesome. Change the world with my voice. Oh my goodness. You are a living example of someone who would definitely do it. Awesome. Enjoy that very much. Maybe I'll get a young man like Patrick to share your observation. How do you feel when you listen to Rihanna? Patrick, please. Yeah, Patrick, speak to us. You need to unmute yourself.
Yes, okay. My feedback is from your first. So you started your speech with a story, and then when the story ends temporarily, I think you can add some words like calling everyone. So after the story ends, you can add ladies and gentlemen and then continue talking. So there is a better transition. And the key message is my mission and to find your mission. So I think you can shorten a bit, just a bit, your paging, and then just make your message a bit longer and make the transitions a bit smoother. Yes, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Good feedback as well. Maybe Mr. Kok want to share some observation how you react to Rihanna?
Well, I think Rihanna is very passionate. You can sense it in the air, her passion. It's not just a voice. I think your voice has resonated in the universe, you see. Somewhere it has made its mark. Congratulations, Rihanna. Carry on. Contribute more positive energy to the universe. We need more of that in our broken world today. Thank you.
Yeah, Rihanna will definitely make a difference. Thank you. And what do you feel when you listen to Rihanna?
I think she was fantastic. Very good points though. You know, and like Mr. Scott mentioned, that I can sense the passion that comes across from what she's saying. I like the way that she has used gestures, you know, and her tone definitely was something that was interesting. Actually, kept me engaged. Yeah. So actually, I got nothing negative to say. There's no. Even though, you know, people say, oh, there's always good criticism, I really have nothing to say. There is no, it's just good. It's fantastic.
Yeah, thank you. Very absorbing, very interesting to listen to Rihanna all the time. Thank you, Rihanna. I feel you are right. We have a mission in life, and we should find what are we here for, and that's our destiny to fulfill it. Right? So congratulations that you have found your mission and you are so excited and you are so energized, and that is something very, very important to anybody at all. Thank you. Patrick has to leave. So Patrick, please go ahead, do whatever you need to do. Thank you for coming. Next meeting, you prepare another speech. But before that, you go and watch the video. Did you see the link that Kostov has posted in the chat group? You go to the chat.
Yes.
Yeah, you copy that link and you go and watch how the other superstar physicists make their presentation. Next meeting, I want you to speak like Mikio Kaku and Daniel Degrees, okay? Speak like a professional. Thank you very much, Patrick. Okay, who want to speak next? Raise a hand. Okay, Mr. Kok. You know the process. 1 minute to introduce yourself and your topic. and then 7 minutes to present your speech. Can you see my screen for timing? You can. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the next speaker, Mr. Kok Yew King. Yeah.
Good evening, my friends. I'm Kok Yew King. My age is 81 years old. I've retired from teaching about 25 years ago, and nowadays I'm focusing on depression prevention. Why do I do this? Because I think on hindsight, my whole life has been filled with depressed moments, has been, filled with struggle on how to overcome, depressed mindset, etc. Without going to a psychiatrist, without medication. Because in those days, you can hardly get a psychiatrist, say, in any of the medium-sized towns in Malaysia 50 years ago. So anyway, and in today's world, I think this is a very important topic. If we talk about mental problem, I think there's no mental illness more prevalent than depression today. Today, this is the most serious problem, especially following the pandemic. And now to make it worse, after the pandemic, you get wars, springing up everywhere, starting with Ukraine. And you can, and we are all wondering where, this war was spread out, to. So you find that depression is a very serious problem. So if you want to talk about, like, for example, mental illness, it is too big a topic. I mean, to cram into 7 minutes is well nigh impossible, definitely impossible, not even for a psychiatric professor or psychology, So what I'm going to do is I will focus on depression based on my own personal experiences. I think that's most relevant. My whole life, from birth until now, has been, as I told you, has been filled with depressed moments. Why? For the very simple reason that I was born in my mother. Before I was born, I probably had suffered from depression because my mother was an orphan. When she was a child, her mother left to remarry another Chinese man in Thailand, and she was left stranded with some relatives. And later on, her relative forced her to marry my father. She was only about 23 years old, and my father was 61 years old, a second wife. So you can see how depressed my mother would have been, you see. I mean, I could understand that. Even, on hindsight now, thinking back after reading so much about psychology, I know that she was very depressed after her marriage. When she conceived me in her womb, I think when she was depressed, I was definitely depressed. You don't need a neurosurgeon to tell you that. You don't need a PhD in psychology to tell you that kind of thing. So anyway, so how do I go about focusing, like, for example, on coping with my depression? Well, for me, it's very simple. I started off with what you call, number one, you take responsibility for your life. I think that's very important. You must take responsibility for your own depressed emotion, because at the end of the day, you are the center of the universe. If you can't solve your problem, nobody can solve the problem for you. If you are depressed, you don't want to overcome your depression, you don't want to get out of the rut, no amount of doctor can help you to pull you out of the doldrum. So that is number one. Take responsibility for your life. And that's why I've been doing all my life, you see. As a small kid, I take responsibility for my life. How do I do that? By adopting a playful spirit. I was a very playful child, very mischievous child. I got a lot of walloping from my mother, a lot of caning because I was mischievous. I disobeyed her rules. I broke the family rules. I played out, late into the night, came back late, etc., etc. There are so many reasons why my mother would like to cane me. probably. And the most important reason is that I think I was a reminder of an unhappy marriage to my father. But anyway, I never blame my mother. I love her, I still adore her because she has made definitely a lot of sacrifices for me. In spite of all the caning, I empathize with her for going through so much, and yet at the same time brought me up, you know, and gave me a university education, etc. So what I do is that, you know, how do I adopt, for example, a playful spirit? Number one, I always had in mind, you see, that I have been blessed for being more or less, you know, for being a child of God. I've been created by God's unconditional love. And I think that is a very, very important and powerful spirit, you know, positive spirit that, you know, that helped me to cope with my depressed emotion all my life. Because when you cope with depression, it's not easy. There are a lot of toxic emotions, such as fears, real and imaginary, all kinds of fears, as well as shame, imaginary shame, toxic shame. That there are no logic, no amount of reasoning can, for example, pacify a person and get a person out of, you know, all these things. So what I did is that I adopt a playful spirit as a child. I would more or less, whenever I'm sad, I would, you know, I would get some of my friends and go out to play, run, go to the riverside and swim, go to a picnic, or go and play marbles, or go and catch spiders, go to Mother Nature. Mother Nature has plenty of, you know, ways of more or less, you know, generating positive spirit to cope with depressed emotion. I remember there was an old tree behind my house. I used to climb up and down the tree, you see, a rain tree, which was very user-friendly. Nowadays, I went back to look at the tree. It was so low. And yet at that time, in those days, it was a fantastic tree. That was probably, you know, the best gift of Mother Nature to me. There's so much, you know, I still remember so much. I spent so much time, you know, playing around the tree, getting out of my depressed emotion. Then also in those days, like for example, you know, I remember that I've got some very good friends, very good childhood friends that have more or less, that have been my psychologist, my psychiatrist and counselor for all those years, at least 5-6 years in coping with depressed emotion. Because very often when we are alone, we find that we tend to ruminate, and rumination is one of the worst form, is the, you know, the worst form of starting depression, starting on your depressed emotion. And the only way you can stop your rumination is to chit-chat with friends. Go out with friends and chit-chat and play and joke and sing. And then you get out of that kind of mood, you see. And then that's the only time you think about your problems, you know, your friend's problem, your friends, you know, funny things, funny tricks or whatever, you know. And then you stop ruminating. You don't think about your own. You think about other people's problem. And that's how you get out of rumination. And that's a very important, you know, mindset. That's why they used to say, you know, in coping with depression, it's so important that you must be very mindful. You must really more or less observe what your mind is thinking, what are the words you are using. Because as one Harvard professor of psychology used to say, you know, beware of what you are thinking and talking to yourself, because there are billions of intelligent microbes in your head as well as in your body, eavesdropping on what you are telling yourself. Eavesdropping, that's a fantastic word. Yeah, we are not aware that these are the little creatures, very smart, listening to what we are talking. And then at the end of it, they will manifest the kind of emotion that we are thinking that's going through our mind. If we're thinking of negative, toxic, these billions of cells will manifest those negative and toxic behavior in our body, in our daily life. And very often we may not be realized that, you see, because what we think in our mind literally hardwired in our mind. You know, that's what I learned about, you see, and from the neuroscientists. You know, our thoughts hardwired, thoughts become things. These are the ingredients where, for example, where the universe used to create good luck and bad luck. Why do people get bad luck? Because they think too much about their negativities. They avoid friends, they avoid good people, they mix with bad people, etc., etc. They're endless. You know, these are the ingredients of good luck and bad luck. And this, I think, is very, very important. And that's all my life. I think I've been having good luck in spite of such a terrible thing to be afflicted with depressed emotion in 80 years of living, 80 years literally. And even now, there are some people, like, for example, gossiping about me, talking about some of the mistakes I made in the past. Hey, for 20, 30 years, they've been talking about it. I knew it. But how is it I don't get depressed? Because I know that, you know, at the end of the day, it's I myself that manifest my good luck and my bad luck. It's I myself that manifest my own destiny. And because of that, I am having a big plan of doing depression prevention by introducing it into China. And I've already got some disciples there. I'm going to recruit disciples, train them, and then get them to start, you know, doing something for China, especially for Chinese marriages, for Chinese women, because Chinese marriages are very, very bad, very, very badly flawed. And Chinese women are the best change agents. And so I've done that. I've started on my journey. This is only the beginning. And I think there's a lot of interesting to look forward to. And I'm recruiting, bumping into the
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I can feel your passion. I can feel your sense of mission, your sense of purpose. We are running a little bit out of time, so I want you to elaborate further, Mr. Kok, at the next meeting. How are you going to do that? How can the people in this room be part of your journey? Because I feel it's a really worthwhile journey.
Yes.
I want to invite Mike to share the Timers report. Wait, you need to unmute first, Mike.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. 11 minutes of pure goodness. Do not be depressed.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Do not be depressed. It was really good.
You give us bonus time for the anti-depression treatment. Thank you.
Sorry for overtime.
No problem. No problem. We're here to learn. We're here to learn.
Yeah, important is to let your passion flow, to enjoy the communication. So thank you very much. We learn later on how to be more efficient, right? And how to break a big message into smaller chunks where we can share each time. Because if you have 1,001 points, and we do have that because of 80 years of experience. If you share it all at one go, the people cannot remember. So you give them small little chunks where they can absorb and they can remember. And if you do it repetitively, like what Brian said, if you say it often enough, each time with a different angle to it, then it can go into the memory. Yeah, it's a lot better than one time telling people everything. So you give little facets of the same mental illness situation. Over a prolonged period, it will sink into the head, right? And also give you more opportunity to recruit more disciples, more travelers in this journey. I think it's a worthwhile journey to travel. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you for sharing. I can really feel your passion, you're so happy to share with all of us.
Can I say something?
Yes, please.
This is Sin Kiao. Well, thank you very much for your presentations, Mr. Yu or Mr. Kok. I don't know which one is the surname.
Yes,
yeah. So the thing is, you know, taking on own responsibility of depressions, for me, sometimes some people deny, you know, they have the depressions and they refuse to accept it. And one example is my ex-husband. So, so he suffered from bipolar. That is the worst kind. And I used to live in Sweden for 40 years. And after 28 years of marriage, he decided to liberate himself because he was so, you know, he was first depressed and then went up to the maniac stage. And of course, then I got depressed and shocked.
I also have bipolar. I also have bipolar.
Yeah, he has.
Yes,
but
so I know what you mean.
Yeah, so he doesn't, although that was really diagnosed by the doctor, but he refused to accept it. And so it's a denial from his side. And then so everybody, gets to get depressed in lifetime. It's nothing shame to talk about that. I was so depressed and shocked, And so, but I embraced Buddhist or Buddha's wisdom. And I also, Chinese proverbs helped me to overcome it. One of them, I always said to myself, 朽木不可雕, that is, rotten woods cannot be curved or curved, to do something about the rotten woods. And I also always tell myself that I'm a child of the universe, never mind about how people do it to me. I have to take care of myself. So for me, I've overcome all these things, and I have really sympathy for and empathy for people and I just feel sorry that they don't, many of them do not, they are not blessed with this kind of wisdom, like embracing the Buddha's wisdom and the Chinese proverbs. So, and you're so right about beware of your thinking and listening to what you're saying to yourself. Actually, this is mindfulness.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, thank you for sharing your experience.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Hun has many years working experience in China.
Yes.
She is fluent in Chinese as well as Swedish, right?
Yes, of course.
English. Yeah. So if you can get Dr. Hun to help you with your plan to help to set up this thing in China to help their mental illness situation, I think she will be a tremendous asset.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no,
That will be
seriously.
fantastic, Dr. Hun.
You are so kind. Thanks for the kind
No.
words, Bumping. You are.
No.
You.
Yeah,
No,
because
she is trained in management, right? She's trained in a lot of Chinese philosophy and things. So she will be a tremendous asset. When I think of her, I think of excellence in communication, in leadership, especially in Chinese. So definitely a tremendous asset if you can persuade her to think of how you can collaborate. It will be excellent.
I would appreciate you can come into my team, you see.
Sure.
That would be fantastic. Because at
the
the end of the day, because what I have is that my experience, my story. I'm sharing my story because I think, anybody with, for example, if you don't have a story, you are just dealing with a topic like depression and bipolar one like mine is a very, very treacherous, treacherous terrain that angels fear to tread.
Yeah,
even psychologists dare not go into the things that I'm doing. Yes, it's very
so difficult.
And yet the only thing I dare to do is because I got my experience, and that every case of depression is different. And because of my experience, I just share my story. I know where the red lines are. I don't cross the red lines. I'm not a qualified, professional, trained professional, and I don't prescribe. I don't cross the red line. And as long as you share your story and enough people, believe in it, what we can do is that actually we are helping the majority, say about 70–80% of the depression cases, moderate one, before they fell into clinical depression. Of course, if they fell into clinical depression, let the doctors deal with it. We don't deal. We only help with the 70–80%. That's tremendous. We can do a hell of a lot.
Okay. Thank you. I'm really inspired when I listen to two of you speak. Because these are real experience. Although it's negative experience, it's real experience, and it has tremendous value. What it is negative experience, it has tremendous value to make a difference to the world, and that's what we are all about. Okay, so please continue to do all this wonderful stuff to help other people. Now we have two more persons who have registered to speak. Who want to go next?
Well, I think I can do that.
Okay. Okay, the same timing sequence and same 1 minute to introduce yourself or introduce what is the topic all about, or why you want to speak about the topic. For example, 1 minute, and then 7 minutes to present your speech. Ladies and gentlemen, next speaker, Dr. Hun Sing Kiao. Please welcome Dr. Hun.
So good evening. My name is Hun Sing Kiao, and thank you for inviting me to share my experience in my journey of lifelong learning. And this is the topic that Bumping wanted me to talk about. When I first came to Sweden in 1975, in an early fall, that means autumn, in the University of Lund, a real Viking man was passing by me. And I was told by my classmates that this Viking man had several degrees, including PhD, I think several PhD or 2 or 3, and several Master of Science. So I was so amazed by this guy and hope that I would be like him one day. So today I have a PhD in business administration. This is the highest attainment you can get in the academic world. So someone once told me that in a very certain way that I did my doctorate degree because I wanted to impress other people. No, that was not it. In fact, writing a doctorate dissertation was never part of my life plan. It just came. I was sort of, because I'm a curious person, so I was just drawn into it. So in any case, because of the interest of time, I will not go into to talk about more about this doctorate dissertation. I thought when I obtained my PhD, I thought I didn't have to study more or even learn more. But boy, I was so wrong. That was just the beginning of my journey of lifelong learning. Well, my PhD was a result of my research at Shanghai Volkswagen and Beijing Jeep. I spent years to study and learned about the nature of international joint ventures, about cultural clashes, about cross-cultural leadership, organizational psychology, and personal psychology, which is so closely related to leadership. I also learned about car manufacturing and other technical matters like locally manufacture of parts. So some years ago, after my divorce, I came back to Singapore, and then I became curious about the American ways of managing organizational psychology. So I signed up for a Master of Science program in organizational psychology and human resource management. Also, I was interested in people psychology. So later on, I took up a diploma in Buddhist-based psychology. Still, I felt that was not enough for me. So I had to contact with James Cook University to investigate a bachelor degree in psychology. And that person in charge said to me that I should go for a PhD program because I already have one in business administration. Why not one in psychology? Yeah, I said that was a good idea. But he also advised me that it would take 5 to 6 years to complete. So I was thinking, well, instead of that, probably it's a bit too long time because by then I would be so old. So instead of that, I undertook an ICF certification in coaching. Around this time, I was also conned by the local bank, and I lost a considerable sum of money. And so I realized that I must learn international banking and finance to understand more and to take more control of my own money. Consequently, I embarked on a program in that too. So you see, this is one leads to the other. Although it was a program in banking and finance, I became aware of the effects of macroeconomy on the relations of currencies, interest rates, inflations, and especially the pragmatic part of managing a company, which is so intricately depending on the forces of macroeconomy in terms of a country's politics, policies, economics, social and technical advancements, etc. So far. So lately, I have completed a program in ACLP. ACLP stands for Advanced Certificate in Learning and Program. This is a government program and which is an accredited program. And that has been so tremendous, challenging and demanding. And for last year, I did nothing but to focus on this program. But with this program, I was forced into working with digital design for adult learning. So you may think that when I've talked so much about learning, you may think that I have always been a good student, but no, I was not. As a young girl, I was not even interested in studying. But as I grow up, I think my curiosity and inquisitive mindset and my humility propel me to learning, to understand things in a holistically way. I want to understand not just a superficial part, but a holistic. So the Russian and the Ukraine war has been such an educational one for me, even though it is such a cruel war. This war will affect economy, energies, food problems for the entire world. And more importantly, I learned that beneath the surface of the war, there is a whole spectrum of historical vengeance, competitions of resources, conspiracies, lies and miscalculations, power hunger, and so forth. So, in other words, I see the lifelong journey for me is more to, I take every opportunity to reflect, to contemplate, and to learn. And that is my message. That is, take every opportunity to reflect, to contemplate, and to learn with her open-minded and humility way. Thank you. That was my message.
Thank you, Dr. Hun. My goodness, you are the right person to stick on this topic, lifelong learning. My goodness, from PhD in business to banking and finance to human resources, organizational behavior, and then advanced certificate in learning. My goodness, I tell you, I cannot imagine how a person can complete so many different educational programs in a lifetime. Oh my goodness!
I guess I was inspired by the Viking men.
you really
came to
I hope you meet a Viking man. Tell him I also got so many certificates.
Sorry?
I hope you meet a Viking and tell him I'm also well qualified now.
Yeah, I wish I would just meet him again. So that
Okay.
was really.
First, we get the timer's report from Mike, please.
Okay, timer's report was within time, 6 minutes and 50 seconds.
Oh,
excellent! Wow. Right in time.
And that included a introduction if you gave one.
Oh,
yeah, I don't know
okay.
whether you did a 1 minute at the beginning because it just flowed. So
yeah,
that was a complete time.
Oh,
beginning to end.
Wow, that's very efficient. Yeah,
Yes.
you covered so much ground in that 6 minutes, 30 seconds. My goodness, excellent.
You're always so kind, Bumping. You always say kind words to be encouraging and kind words.
But it's true, and I'm too honest. Okay, feedback for you, Dr. Hun. Can you see my face on the screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay, can you see my face compared to your face on your screen?
Your face? What do you mean? I can see your face. I can see everybody's face.
Okay, do you notice your head appear on the screen, but we cannot see anything below, like your neck?
Oh, really?
Can you see yourself in the screen?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, if you compare your screen, your face image, and a window, which do you feel is better? Tilt it a little bit more. The margin between the head, you look at Mr. Singh, for example, right? There's a small gap between the top of the head.
But you say, Bumping, it doesn't matter about how I look. It doesn't play a role, doesn't matter.
No. You want to project a little bit more like a TV presenter, like Rihanna. You see, she is trained how to appear on the screen where she has this authoritative position.
Right.
Whereas if you are small and a little bit like that, you lost the advantage of the image.
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
Thank you for telling me.
Yeah,
Thank
it is.
you for.
Yeah, and another
The
one.
Viking man would walk straight past.
Okay, and if you observe Rihanna, there's a brand behind her. She has a virtual backdrop that helps her project her professional image because she is a 7 steps coach. So a virtual image could help as well. If you wish to, you can get one done. Because for me, when I'm doing Agora, this is what my virtual image look like, right?
Okay.
So I can project my brand without like telling very much. Okay, so like Avinder saying, right? If he's doing Himalayas or whatever, from the backdrop, roughly you can get a little bit of subliminal message.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Ante is telling us she's in San Francisco. Maybe her mind is thinking of traveling as well. Okay,
yes, it's been too long.
No,
Thank you.
These are quite powerful tool that we can all use. So we have. Cheng Yan, you want to say something? You're muted. We cannot hear you. You have to unmute first.
Oh.
How do you do the screen?
That's because you are using a tablet, right? You don't have the facility. I will give you a computer.
Okay, thank you.
Then I will teach you how to use it because
Okay.
some handphone also may not have this facility. So you have to learn. These are important skills.
Yeah.
I'll show you example of how I use the backdrop. Yeah. For my presentation. Okay. Example, I'm giving training. Right. So I'll have this. For example, my backdrop will look like that. Can you see it?
Yes. Okay.
Okay. So I'll sit like that. Then you can see. Okay, welcome to this workshop, personal data protection, blah, 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 blah. Then I go, this is a training syllabus for today. Then I start talking. After that, I'll tell them, what is the methodology we are going to apply today, right? And so on.
So
that.
So this is actually your slide that you did before, like in your laptop, lah.
Yeah, I load this up. Then when you're speaking, I don't need to share screen. Share screen is slightly different technology, but this is a lot easier so that I appear big and the words also appear big.
Oh, right? Okay.
So you can do that. It helps you. If you want to do presentation like this, it's very helpful.
Yeah. So this is actually in PowerPoint format, is it?
No, this is I create the backdrop. These are the backdrop only.
Oh, okay. So in my next speech, I can put my painting photo of my painting as a backdrop.
Yeah, you can. So when I'm having my office meeting, this is my backdrop. That's my company's name.
Okay.
It's only a virtual backdrop, but some people they thought, wow, your office is so neat, so tidy.
Okay. Got it.
So
thank you.
Yeah, I will teach you. Those who want to learn this, we can teach you. Okay. Now, we have one more speaker who have registered, and that is none other than 80 years old. Is it 80 or 82 years old? Charan Singh. How old are you?
I'm 80, sir.
80. Okay, 80-year-old, Mr. Charan Singh. And can you remember what topic have you decided?
The most important lesson.
Yeah. After 80 years old, he finally discovered what is the most important lesson in life. So, my friends, put your hands together. Welcome, Mr. Charan Singh.
In 1964, I began my career in the Singapore Prison Service. as a junior officer. That means Division 4. After 4.5 years, I got my promotion to Lance Corporal. And 3 months later, I got promoted to an officer grade. That is my introduction for myself. Now we are going to head on to 1990. By then, I was already wearing 3 pips. I was already Division 1. My superintendent rang me up at 12 o'clock sharp. 12 o'clock sharp in the prison is a very hectic time. We have to monitor the food the inmates are collecting. They have some compartments on the food bowl. They have the rice, they have some soup, they may have fish or they may have other meat or whatever it is. And once a person passes you and he comes back and says, sir, I don't have my fish. Nowhere can I get a fish somewhere. The kitchen will have thrown away all of the balanced food because they can't be storing food forever. Because they've got to start preparing for dinner. Dinner will be ready by 5 o'clock. So we have to be very careful. I mean, inmate makes a genuine complaint. Still, we got problems solving it. So I received a call, and it was my superintendent. He asked me, are you free this afternoon? I said, no, sir. He can postpone your I said, no, cannot postpone. You put down the phone. After about 5-6 minutes, he rang me up again. I felt very irritated. He rang me up, Charan, can you postpone your program? I said, no way. Then he told me his problem. He said, I got a problem. He said, this afternoon, I got a meeting in Ministry of Home Affairs. He's regarding the finances and all that. They're putting out the paper for finance. So there are a team of young, what do you call, new officers, new officers who are joining the service. They told me all junior officers. So I said, okay, sir, I'll take it. Then I told him, I said, sir, I need a conference room, the large conference room from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock. He said, why didn't you until 4 o'clock? I said, no, debrief them. He said, you can only give them 1 round of refreshments. Cannot give 2 rounds. I said, it's not a question of refreshment. I want to debrief them properly. Okay. When the team came of new recruits, it was a batch of 20 young ladies. I was expecting all male, but came all female. I felt a bit ashamed. You know why? I should have changed my to another bush jacket which was in my locker. After wearing the uniform for 2 days, it doesn't look so good. So anyway, I had to make the best use of it. I called them up, I briefed them. We are going to go on the rounds, from where we're going to start, which are areas we can visit, which are the areas like condemned block, prisoners waiting to be hanged, we cannot visit there, or one other block known as maximum security block, that also we can't visit. So also told them the rules, don't talk to any inmate. If any inmate smiles at you, politely do not smile back, but move your face away. There's no need for any disagreement with anyone. If you need to ask anything about any project, what the inmates are doing, there's instructors there, they got assistant, they got officer on duty there, they got the warders there. You can ask them for help to answer your queries, but don't talk to the inmate. So the idea was, no point them coming back and say, you should not have done that, you should not have done that. No way. It is best to advise people so that they do not make a mistake from the day one when you meet them. So after our rounds, about 1.5 hours, we came back. So I took them back to the conference room and told them, okay, anybody want any refreshments? Few of them raised their hands. So called the tea boy up. took the order and then delivered. So I told them, I said, I must thank you for being very obedient. Whatever instructions I gave you, you complied them. So it's my duty to thank you. And they're all very surprised. Then they told me, he says, sir, we went to another prison and the officer brought her to the tea room there. Said, if you want, you order and then you pay. That was okay. But within 5 minutes, he said, no, this is a structure like this, like this, like this. We got this category of inmates here. My job finished at 2 o'clock. At time is now 2:15. I got to go back so you all can carry on. So we felt very disappointed. We came to Changi prison. We expected the same thing. But you told us all the rules. You explained to us what should not be done. If you need anything, how to get help, speak to the instructors, workshop instructors, they are civilians. You talk to the officer on duty, or you not, you can also ask me. So you are very helpful for us. So I said, I'll tell you why I chose to explain to you. I say I started as a junior officer. I know how we are treated by the older staff. And even the officers, they say, this new fella, I don't know anything one. So they don't treat you with respect. So, but I want to tell you this. You are very important people here. Without your presence here, no prison can function. The director of prison can take 1 month leave and go overseas and come back. Somebody can replace them. But you all go, if all of you take leave together, we can't get any replacements. The very important job you're doing. So that gave them the confidence to stay on. And some of them declared very clearly, we are about to resign. We get bullied by the senior staff. I said, do you know why you get bullied? Nobody wanted to answer that. I said, okay, I'll give you the answer. You people have come with higher qualification than mine. I only got O levels. You people have come from junior college, you've come from polytechnic and all that. Much, much higher than me. But times have changed. Those people, none of them have got school certificate even. The highest they got is primary 6. Some have only completed and not even passed the entrance exam. So I say, you people are much higher. They are now worried about their career. Their career will be affected. So you must understand some human behavior too. So this, but when you see them doing something wrong, you must take note and keep. All of you were provided with notebooks. Have anyone used a notebook? He said, none of them said yes. All said no. I said, start using a notebook. You see anything wrong, copy down in your book, the time, the date, the staff involved. So they said we are bullied, and then they talk bad about us. No, they cannot find job outside. They come and join us. No, now give us trouble. So all these things are you just note and keep, but don't tell them that we are recording it. If there's time to report, you have evidence in your notebook. Because when you bring out your notebook, the date, you can't be writing on the spot. So they're very thankful to me. So I told them what is wrong is definitely wrong. 2 days later, we had the welcome party for our new director of prisons. That was on Thursday. Saturday evening, we had a function for the new director, welcome ceremony. So there they had a beer drinking competition. I do not enjoy drinking, but when I go for a function, yes, I do drink a glass or two. Then they had a beer drinking competition. So one of the other colleagues of mine, he came, let's go for a competition. I said, no. I said, new boss, we're thinking, we got nothing better to do but drink. Don't worry about staff, don't worry about other jobs. Drink more important. So I said, no, I'm not going. Anyway, there were no much of other takers, there were only 3 other groups. So my name was called up again. So you must come because somebody registered for you. So I went up. So there were 4 teams. Each team was consisted of 2 persons. So I told my partner, you drink comfortably what you can, the balance leave it to me. So he drank a few sips, he passed a jug to me, I finished up and declared. The judge of the beer drinking competition declared, he said, no, somebody else won the thing. So I told him, I said, I've declared, but I didn't hear anybody declare. He said, no, he didn't declare, but he wanted some more beer, so you poured some more beer. So that was very stupid of him to say that, because there was the team that came to Changi prison, they were invited for the function. So they saw the thing. And they remembered me telling them what is wrong is wrong. So the judge of the beer drinking competition gave me the mic. As I walked out, he gave me the mic. Say what you want to say. Sorry for what I'm going to use, the words. I said, sir, for 12 cans of beer, I'm not going to prostitute myself. Thank you. I gave you back the mic. He had a shock. He had a shock. You know why? Because this group of 20 girls started clapping and singing. Charan Singh won, in a chorus. The new boss, the director of prisons, he was wondering, how come these new recruits know this officer's name? Something is not right. So when I went back to my table and sat down, one of his staff from headquarters came down, said, director wants to know how come the girls know your name. I said, sir, you got to excuse me. Please ask the girls. But he went back to the director, said, no, he refused to tell us. So he sent another chap. So again, I was very polite to him. I said, sir, if I go to the director and tell him the excuse, he won't believe me. I don't think he will believe me. So the best persons will be the people who are shouting my name or singing my name. So can you please call them? If they refuse, then I'll come and say what I do, tell the director. So it took 2 girls. They went and told the director. He took us around in Changi prison and we all learned a lot from him. He briefed us and debriefed us, which we didn't get from other places we visited. But I didn't want to go and complain to him for the beer. What should I have? Few dollars for what? No way. I got my pride also. He doesn't want to give me, so be it. So now the director has learned something, that some staff are not honest. My lesson here was, be honest. You have to be healthy. You have to be honest. Be loyal to your boss. Thank you.
Thank you, Charan. Charan has won. Charan has won. Charan has won. Let's get ask Mike for the timer's report, please, Mike.
You are absolutely correct. Charan has won with a time of 13 minutes and 1 second.
It was so absorbing.
It was
passed
great.
so fast.
It was great.
Yeah. Thank you, Mike. I was thoroughly enthralled, absorbed into your presentation. So I didn't notice the time passed so fast until it's 30 minutes. So you beat God, you king, I think. Okay. And the lesson you taught us is indeed a very important lesson, right?
No, my point was very important, because the junior officers, any place, if they are not loyal to you, no organization can survive well.
So true. So true. In fact, the executives are the ones who make things happen. Right? The generals and whatever at the top, they can plan, they can strategize, they can do a lot of stuff, but without the lower rank people,
support.
nothing happens. Nothing happens. Yeah. I think we have not heard Mike speak for a long time. I want to issue a challenge for him in 7 minutes to tell us why we should learn history or why we should read history. Can you take up the challenge?
Okay, who's going to
Okay,
time
7
me?
minutes. Do you want me to time you or you want to set your own
Yes.
timing?
I'll set my own timing,
Okay,
but
you
you
set
do
your
it as
time.
well.
Okay, the challenge for Mike Nicholson, why we should read history. Let's welcome Mike Nicholson.
As they say, if you don't know history, you will repeat it. So it's always good to know what not to do. History comes in many, many forms. And one thing that came to me just a couple of days ago to do with the Ukraine-Russia war was an analysis of why the Russians are doing so badly. My father was in the British Army, and I had never thought of what was said in this TV program a couple of days ago. And basically what they were saying is that the difference between the Russian army and other armies is the Russian army, they have no NCOs. Yeah, they have no sort of corporal, sergeant majors. They have flunkies, the recruits, the conscripts, and they have officers. Nobody wants to do the job in the middle. And that is not working at the moment in Ukraine. Whereas in the British Army, I know from personal experience, everything is organized. You have a really well-established hierarchy. And it's obviously there for a reason. I mean, the British were pretty good at colonizing every country in the world at some time in their history. And they got lots of experience, yeah, at doing just that. So this is just one example. I mean, it to me is, you know, obviously should be very, very self-evident, but I never ever thought of it. But yeah, just something small like that. Yeah, the way you organize your company, yeah, can give you a big competitive advantage. So, you know, having organizational structure in a company is really important. And again, being a human resource expert for 45 years, and the wrinkles show, don't they? You know, it's so sad. But when I was at school, the 1960s, I remember some of my friends, parents, fathers, they would join a bank, have joined a bank at the age of 16. And at 65, they would get a gold watch and a handshake and a tea and biscuit party and be sent off into obscurity, into retirement. One job for life. In the 70s, when I was at university and I came out, already it had changed. One job for life did not exist anymore. Most people already in the 1970s were changing job every 3 years. In the 80s, there was a major change in that companies were having to downsize because of economic pressure. So previously we'd had like 15 levels of management in a company. Again, very structured, very organized, but expensive. And to save money, what they did is they got rid of 2/3 of the management. So everybody ended up in the late 80s effectively with the same salary, but 3 jobs, because the 2 people that had been made redundant and pushed out still left their work behind them. They didn't take their work with you. And guess what? The 1/3 of the management team that was left behind picked up 100% of the work. And that lasted, again, not for too long, because things have been really moving all of my working life. In the 90s, we had gone from having a job for maybe 3 years and changing, with a lot of stress coming in. And during the 90s, I was with UPS, United Parcel Service, setting up UPS in Europe from scratch. And what we were looking for were part-timers. So we were not looking for people to work a 9-to-5 job, 40-hour work week. We needed 4 hours in the morning, and we needed 4 or 5 hours in the evening. So we were going towards part-time, and we were not the only company heading that way. So during the 1990s, the shift was from full-time employment to part-time employment. And what was the problem with that? Part-time previously had always been reserved for ladies. Women went to work to get money for kids' presents, cigarette money, the annual holiday for the family. They didn't need to work, so to speak. The husband went to work and earned the money for the family. That all changed, because now in the 90s, it's men doing part-time work, and companies being companies, they were not going to increase the salary levels, which had previously been like 60% of a man's salary, because the women were doing the work. Now men are doing the same work for 60% of what previously a man used to get. So that all sort of came into that period. And what happened basically was men were now working 3 jobs of 20 hours each, doing 60 hours work and getting paid what they used to get for 40 hours. So that was the 90s, the 20s, it carried on. And I mean, now we're in the gig economy. You get a job for 2 or 3 days, a weekend, or something like that. So young people now are having a much, much harder time. And I really worry what is going to happen once all of the dust around COVID settles and we really find out what people are actually doing. Just recently, I've been hearing a lot of talk on the internet, YouTube, about companies now going 4-day week. My projection is 3-day week soon. In the next 5 years, 3-day week. Thank you so much. It is now 7:29, 7:30. I will finish just in time.
Wow, perfect timing.
Part 2, another week.
Yeah, I need some clarification. I am working like 12 to 15 hours a day. How are you managing 4-day week, 8 hours, or 3 days week at 8 hours? I cannot imagine.
I mean, basically, all of this is going to happen because of automation, robotics. For many years already, maybe already 20 years, we've had far too many human beings doing work that could easily and more efficiently been done by computers. Yeah, but that would have been very, very unsellable. Governments would never have allowed that. But I think now that we've sort of blown the world to pieces with the COVID experience, things will change. I really think things are going to make major changes in the next 5 years. And the way I see it is that robots will take over a lot of the drudgery that we humans have been doing. It will free up time, so we only need to work 3 days. However, every cloud has a silver lining. And the silver lining is you will not be bored with 4 days work week or a weekend, because the 2 days that you get extra from relinquish it as a work week, one day will become permanent lifelong learning. So people like Sharan and myself, we will go off to class to learn how to use our smartphone. I've had this thing for 2 years. I don't know what it does and why it does it. Yeah. So there is so much that's happening, yeah, with technology. And when 5G comes in, how are you going to train old people that are not working, being unemployed, being retired now for 20 years? I don't have the social company background to help me with, well, I forgot, you know, with all of the Microsoft changes, you know, the one, what do they get, OneDrive, whatever. Yeah. I mean, there's so Google Forms. I mean, I was a judge for a speech contest a while ago, and it was done on Google Forms. I had no idea what I was doing. Yeah, I was literally cutting and pasting the form, yeah, with my results. And I was way behind everybody else because they all did it in about 5 seconds. And I'm thinking, how'd they do that? I'm still counting up my totals. But I didn't realize you just put the raw numbers in, the Google form calculates the totals, and it's all on one sheet anyway. Yeah, so the technology that's moving, yeah, we need to be taught that. And if you're not in that environment, you're not going to get taught that. So there are so many advances happening. Yeah, we need to be taught what to do. Yeah, and the other day is going to be a social day. Social day to look after your own kids. What a shock horror experience. Look after your parents when they get as old as me. Look after your community who are blind, who are disabled. Yeah, so they all need help. They need human beings to get involved. So these are the things that we will do to improve the quality of life, I hope, so that we get the same salary as previously, but we're now only working officially 3-day work week. So that's how I see development happening. Yeah, it's not that we all get 4 days off at the weekend.
You've got other duties to perform.
Other duties that will improve the quality of life, improve the quality of our society. Yeah, and I think that will be a good thing to do.
Yeah, thank you,
but I mean,
Mike.
already you can go to a doctor, stick your finger in a hole in the wall, you will get a pinprick, and it will suck out some blood and do some tests. There is no doctor in sight. This is a computer doing the analysis. Yeah, and it's much more accurate because it can go on Google and it'll do a search for diabetes. And what does it get? 3.5 million entries. Yeah, the doctor you go to see is scratching his head thinking, yeah, I think I did that when I was at university 20 years ago. Yeah, but it's all developed. So thank you. Let me finish.
Yeah, thank you, Mike. I thought I'm a dinosaur. You are a much older dinosaur. Okay, everybody has spoken except Anne. Do you feel comfortable to talk for 2 to 3 minutes at least? And I'll give you a challenge. What is life all about?
Oh.
What is life really all about? You can just speak for 2 to 3 minutes if you like.
Okay, then let's do this. Okay, life is really about living. It's living the present. It's living in the moment. Life is about letting go of the past. And life is about planning for the future. Not living for the future, but planning for the future. Life is about excitement. Life is about joy. Life is about friendship, you know. Based on what I've heard so far, so many of you have shared your life experiences. I can relate to Dr. Poon. I'm one of these crazy ones who just go on this journey to learn stuff. I've got aeronautical engineering diploma. I have a banking and finance degree. I then went on to take my art certification. I then went on to take my life coaching certification. Now doing life, I'm doing financial planning. And they all look at me and say, what are you doing with your life? You know? and to be honest, my journey is really about enriching other people's life. And isn't that what's life really about? Often when I when I watch the news, and very often you hear only the bad stuff, right? How often do they celebrate life? Often does media celebrate the good things about life? You know, how about hearing some stories of people helping other people, not in times of devastation, but in good times? You know, life is also not so much about money, but life is about planning, just planning the unforeseen. You never know what's going to happen, right? I've just encountered friends who recently fell sick, and they were just in the midst of planning for what is to come. You know, now that my kids are older, I can start enjoying life, and they fall sick with no insurance. So to me, as I look, you know, at life in general, sometimes you can plan all you want. Life is not going to be the way it's going to be. There are going to be some curveballs. You can do one of two things. You can try to catch them. You can try to dodge them. But whatever the decision that you've made at the end of the day, it's about keep on keeping on, right? I also heard a lot about thoughts. Life is also about what you think of life, of what life really is, right? If you keep telling yourself, oh, life is tough, it's going to be tough. So life is what you really make of it. And essentially, my ending message to everyone is enjoy life. I hope I did okay. Yeah.
248. Well done, Anne.
Wow, great job, great job. Okay, thank you for sharing, Anne. I'm sorry to put you on the spot straight away, but you responded very well, and I'm very proud of you. That's really great. Did you have experience in public speaking like this before?
Okay, so with the past 20 years, I've always been doing events management. And very often we have speakers who are just a little bit late and had to be the filler. So you know, you sort of have to be fast on your feet, and you have to think of stuff and what to say, how to engage audience. And so in some ways it came quite naturally. Yeah.
Yeah, you did very well. Okay, we are ending the session soon. I want to tell you one secret. It's a bonus. You see, Arvinda Singh here, he has a group of people that meets every morning at 7:30 by like Zoom. Not Zoom, but it's another platform. They do breathing exercise.
Google Meet.
They do yoga kind of exercise. And that exercise is very good for health, for whatever. So actually, I attended only once. I'll tell you why. I cannot wake up at 7:30 in the morning. No, I'm a night person. I will sleep at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. So 7:30 is really very difficult for me. So I couldn't, but I encourage all of you. Maybe Arvinda, in 2 minutes, you share with us what does your group really do? Why are you so passionate about this early morning thing?
Okay, thank you. I just explain you a little bit. Basically, what we do is yoga, but I accidentally found this whole yoga because I'm learning yoga therapy. So I have got one lady approached me that she was 67 and she approached me for diabetes. So I teach her this yoga for just 1 week. But I plan myself because as a yoga therapist, we have to plan the yoga for whoever we are trying to help. So to prevent the disease. So I designed this for her, and then after that I found that after 1 week she go for a checkup, and she was so happy to announce that her cholesterol medicine is removed after a week, and her diabetes have gone down. And she didn't tell me about her cholesterol when she came to me. And also in 1 month and 1.5 months, She told me her cervical pain is totally gone. She have a double vision, all cleared. So after that, I start to call more people, and everybody in my group, they all have some problem or the other. All of them are reporting that all the problems are going away. So when I find that, because as a yoga therapist, we know that this what I was teaching was not actually 100% for diabetes. I have to add on more exercises, but with lesser exercises already she got so many benefit. So I decided that I carry on this for everybody as a general yoga, and after that, then diabetes one, we will have a specific more postures. So but now now I'm trying to spread this to as many as people as possible. So I'm trying to create as many teachers as possible for this session. So now most of the time it's not me who is conducting the session, it's the other people now under me who are conducting the session, so that they can become independent. So I have so you can just join in and learn, and my fees is zero, no money to pay. You learn, you teach other people. My idea is to make more people benefit by this yoga session. That's it.
Thank you, Arvinda. I really am very touched with your kindness to share this. I am one who believes the proper exercise, proper breathing, proper stretching has tremendous health benefit that Western medicine cannot give us.
Yeah.
It is a lot better than keep on going to see the doctor and taking all kinds of medicine. So
I have just today morning, another person just give me the feedback. He was like a night person, always cannot sleep in the night until 3 p.m., 4 a.m. And now after joining my yoga for about 1 month, he said, Arvinda, now I sleep at 12:30, 1 o'clock, but I am, after 6 hours of sleep, I'm very fresh in the morning, and he every day joining now. So he wake up at 6:45 or 7, and he's every day joining now. Initially, he was little bit here and there, but he make a point that he try every day hard first. But he said now it's natural for him. And the sleep is very good now. And he's not a young man, he's 75.
Wow.
Yeah.
So for those who want to join this, listen carefully, it's free of charge, yeah, free of charge. And they do it every single morning, 7:30, right?
Yes.
If you wish to join, you can just join and test it out. And if you enjoy it, you can continue.
Yeah.
I encourage all of you, please, if you have friends with all kinds of body ailments or cannot sleep or stress or whatever, I believe this will be a good place to go to.
Sure.
Okay, if you need the contact number, you can check with me. I can let you have his contact, or I can you can post in the chat group, because I'll add all of you to my different Agora chat group. There's a chat group where we only post updates of Agora speaking and leadership training. There's another chat group for Agora idea exchange. So whatever idea, whatever product services that you want to share, you share in the idea exchange, right? So that's all I have for this evening. I think Dr. Hoon is giving me a hint that I should end the meeting.
Sorry, I didn't mean that.
Okay. So I thank
Thank you.
all of you for sharing. I enjoy myself very much. I learned a lot, and I've recorded this session. For those who want to like review, I will give you the link. It will be in YouTube. Okay. So good night, everybody. Thank you for being part of this evening's proceedings.
Good night, and
Good
thank
night.
you, everybody.
Pleasure.
Okay, good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
2 weeks.
2 weeks time.